Live stream will begin soon. Will begin soon. We are, let me make sure I start recording. How about that? Yeah, okay. We are waiting on the radio show to finish, and then, and we will be live shortly. So hang in there. Thank you.
If you want to slow down your living, or if you just want to get away, there's a little strip of sand down in Texas.
Almost there.
Where they say
Almost there. We're waiting on the other show to finish up. We'll be there soon. Thank you, YouTube.
that's my island on a different kind of sand, where the dolphins and the seagulls guide the ferry boat to land. That's my island. Once you've been there, then you'll know you'll never want to leave her. My island in
We're closer than we've ever been, I swear. We're almost there.
Once you've been there, then you'll know. You'll never want to leave her. My island in the Gulf of Mexico. I can't
Hi, Josie.
that's my
Hey, Josie.
on a different kind of sand. Where the dolphins and the seagulls gladly ferry boats to land. That's my once you've been there, then you'll know. You'll never want to leave her. My island in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, that's my island in the Gulf of Mexico. Cha-cha-cha.
All right. We've got everything going, and there's a low hum, of course, which is fantastic. Okay. Yes, we are. We are on. Thank you for Ed for setting this up, getting all that going. Thank you, Ted Mandel, for getting all this set with me. Let's see here. Trying to drop this gain. Getting everything together for another beautiful Island Moon Thursday. Let's see. We got Jay Gardner, Lily Walker, Tyler Thorson, Dale Rankin, and Ted Mendel. Let me get all the levels and everything set. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about on the show, and probably a few harsh words, which is going to be outstanding. But man, the trout, and there's reds and skipjacks running through the lights too out here.
Ridiculous.
It's
Good.
awesome.
You know,
The
I
fishermen
swear
are
I'm
out.
going to bring a fishing rod every time, and I forget to do it.
Yeah. I'm going to start leaving a
Jeez
fly rod in my truck.
Well, you can tell that the fish are biting because the parking lot is full.
Yes. Right. All right. Boudin says that we sound good. So good morning, Boudin.
All right. Man,
Ah.
thanks to everybody who's watching on YouTube on Island Moon Live. We really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody else who's listening on KUKA, Driscoll, Texas, 105.9 and 103.3. Y también en Retro Tejano 104.1. Buenos dias, amigos. So, Tyler, let's jump in and do a quick Babes on Baffin update. How was the
Yeah.
tournament?
First, he's got to tell us why he's wearing sunglasses this morning with no sun.
Because I didn't have time to put my contacts in. It's about a 15-minute deal, so I thought, you know what, I'll just wear sunglasses and just be
You
there.
look so cool.
Well, I thought so. You know, it's bright out here. We've got the fishing light. Oh, but first, can I do a deal? Thank you to the Island Moon for posting that nice tribute you had to
To Craig
my-
West.
Craig
yeah.
West.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
awesome. His
Yeah.
wife and family really liked that. That's why I haven't been on for the last couple of weeks. We lost one of our bosses, our big crew boss. Craig West was a great fisherman. He was the one that got killed in that boating accident in Baffin Bay a couple of Saturdays ago, and it was just horrible for us. But you know, it's like we're going to go on. It's like when we lost Billy Sandifer for the Big Shell cleanup. It was tough, really tough. Like, you know, how we're going to move on. But you know, we've going to carry it to the next level because he was such a great guy and such a fun person. And that's what we're doing. We've got Nick and John taking over the big part where the tough stuff, where they have complicated stuff, and then I've been helping out, and also Ashley Wiggins has been helping out. That's Jim's daughter. So we're carrying on, and it's tough, but we're doing good stuff. So anyway, thank you guys. So Baffin Bay, Babes on Baffin, that was a huge tournament. Kimberly Prowse did a great job with that.
Yay,
All
Kimmy Sue.
the helpers were incredible. The volunteers, she had so many volunteers that we just sat back and just awed, like, we weren't needed, which is
I,
good.
I love it when that happens because if there's any last minute emergencies that pop up, you're there to take care of it.
Right,
You're not
but-
stuck doing something else. You're folding shirts while things are burning
Yeah,
in the background.
Right,
Yeah.
and then there was nothing. It
Right.
went like a well-oiled machine, like Secretariat. On the last thing when they won the Belmont. Yeah, it was one of like 37 lengths. It was a great tournament, and
how
thanks
many
to
how many
Luis.
teams were in? Do you know?
Almost, I think we're like 5 short of last year, which is pretty good because the economy and things that were going on that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we had the Columbus Day weekend. Lots of people in town, lots of folks, boaters, and
Yeah.
great weather, and it was good. They had a lot of good catches. They had a new division this time where they actually went and tagged fish. They didn't just catch tagged fish; they went and tagged fish, and
That's cool.
Yeah, that
You're
was
it.
that was yeah. They tagged some of the fish. They had the first one to tag 7 fish. Got a prize and cash money and all sorts of things. So it was really good. Louise did a great job. All the volunteers. I mean, she went and posted a nice letter on the Babes on Baffin page on Facebook. So thanking all the sponsors. The sponsors were incredible. The outfits were incredible.
If you've never been, you don't have to compete in the tournament to go enjoy the captain's meeting and the costume contest and the camaraderie, all the little vendors and stuff. It's a blast.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it up until they had the trip to Costa Rica, where you could have gone to.
You're going to Costa Rica.
You're going to Old Mexico.
We're going to Old
Baja.
Mexico.
No. So I thought, yeah, I was watching this guy. I went and it's one of those poker chip things where you get a number between 1 for $1 and
Yeah.
or you if you really screw up you get the $125 one to that's how the money's raised. So
Yeah.
I go in there and get 54. I thought, well, okay, I have enough for that. So then some guy goes in front of me like 11. 13, 21. I thought, well, God, I'll take one more shot. Next one was $110, and I was out. Same thing happened to my buddy Leo Juarez, and same thing happened to, I guess, who else was? Somebody else threw in it, and they were like 115. It was Marissa.
Yeah.
I get 115. It was like, well, that went okay, but no, great job, everybody. Thank you so much to all the volunteers and the sponsors. Of course, it was a good time.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And what year of Babes on Baffin is this?
21, but we missed one for COVID, but then we forgot that you start at 0 and you don't count like that.
Your first one, yeah.
Yeah, the 15
Yeah,
was
coming
really,
in for your first
yeah.
annual.
Yeah,
It's like, well, it's not annual until you do 2. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the little things.
Yeah, so it worked out fine.
Yeah,
but it was-
Dr.
it was
Brian
good.
Gully joining us at the table as well. What's going on, buddy?
I don't know why I'm running late. I don't know what happened. It snuck up on me. This change of
Yeah,
time,
feel-
Yeah.
We're not
keep
there
getting
yet.
dark.
So I
sooner and
guess
sooner.
when we change time, we'll be in the daylight when we get here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll be dark when we go home, and we go, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock.
By
No,
the
oh, no,
time-
it's 6.
By the
Yeah.
time the show's over, the sun will be setting.
But if we get here, like
Yeah,
you said,
no
if we
kidding.
get here 30 minutes early, we can fish.
Right. Yeah.
30 minutes before
Well,
the
from
show
the looks
starts.
of things down
There's
there,
redfish sitting right
some
there.
fish in
Yeah.
the
Literally
light.
right there in the lights.
It'd be-
No kidding.
Uh,
Yes.
you just need one cast.
He's
Well,
probably got marlin and sailfish over in his light, right now.
We had,
Blue
we
water
had the
too.
Harvest Moon Regatta came in last week.
Uh-oh. Good pop. Hang on. Let's see who's
Harvest Moon Regatta came in from Galveston, and a group of Sea Scouts won their division. Some 14, 17-year-old kids.
They sail from Galveston all the way down to, was it South Padre or here?
They
to
went
Port Aransas.
from
Oh,
to
okay,
Port
cool.
Aransas from Galveston, and they, the Galveston area, and the big boats went out in the Gulf, and the Sea Scouts hugged the coast and won.
Wow, that were smart kids.
yeah.
I catch all my sailfish in the second gut.
Yeah.
And Fred Soward, the owner here at Docks, he sails every year, I think. He finished 4th, so
That's cool. Congrats, Fred.
yeah.
I think it's good. They get a chance to do something besides sail around in circles in the bay,
Yeah.
and they
yeah.
get to actually go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's to me
Yeah,
as an offshore
destination.
fisherman.
Well, they sail overnight under the light of the harvest moon. That's got to
Right.
be kind of cool.
right.
Got a bug in my nose.
Yeah, well, so it's funny. Years ago, my buddy actually has a library named after him, Owen Hopkins. He's an old school client and friend, for my part. And he was sitting there. We were talking about sailing because he was he's a big yachtsman. That was his thing.
Yeah.
And he said, "Man, I just love sailing. Like it reminds me so much of trigonometry." And I was like, "Owen, you got to take the fun out of your right. Don't put
Yeah.
math into everything."
Yeah.
I bring my protractor on the boat
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time.
But it's like that's
it
how
to
we
clean
keep
fish.
winning.
Your
It's like,
sextant.
if you know, your trigonometry, you're a
What's
good
his boat
sailor.
name? Cosine?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, now
Yeah.
we're getting ready to take down the old Harbor Bridge.
They are taking down the old
yeah,
Harbor
so
Bridge. So
it's
they're
coming
taking
down.
down the superstructure, and then they've got to take down the mid-level, and then they're going to take down the infrastructure. Right?
When is that
so
all
It's all about
happening?
structure.
So it's
it's currently occurring.
Tenant,
You're
yeah, well, they're
soaking in it,
so
yes.
they're setting things up. I think they're going to the meeting that I was on, and this could change according to weather, other things, because there is an active port that's still going on underneath the bridge.
Right.
I believe they're going to do the cutting and the testing on the 26th. That's this next Sunday, and I think right now it's scheduled for Monday, starting early. But the clearance is to shut down the port for that access through the port for 36 hours. They may not need that long, but that's what they're giving because it's an active port. So, the port doesn't want to have to shut things down intermittently. They're
Right.
like, just set it up and do it. Mammoet, one of my old clients, is doing the drop with strand jacks. So what they're going to do, if you guys, next time you're driving over the Harbor Bridge, safely look over and check out what they're doing. They're going to have strand jacks on either side that are they're hydraulic, similar to like a bottle jack, but they've got cables on them. So what they're going to do is cut the bridge and lift that center section up. They'll have pins in place underneath just because, any equipment failure, but they're going to test the weight, make sure everything is secure and in place,
Right.
get all the final approvals, and then they'll pull the pins out and lower onto barges with
The whole
some
structure
tugs
at
there.
once?
Yeah, the whole center section is coming down in one piece, and then that goes onto SPM, what's called SPMTs, or self-propelled modular transporters. So that's the phrase of the day. They're like big skateboards with a whole bunch of wheels, and they're gonna.
Doesn't have the same panache when you call it like a skateboard with a whole bunch
I
of
know,
wheels.
yeah. Well, that's how I explain it to people. It's like saying there's only 90 sleeps till Christmas. It's like you gotta just
right, yeah.
simplify.
Well, it's way less than that.
yeah.
It's a
But-
big skateboard, real big skateboard.
Yeah, and they're gonna drop it down onto the barge with the SPMTs on, and then move that over, and then roll that off, and the roll off process, because of the weight, is gonna take about 3 hours.
So they'll do it all in 36 hours.
Yeah, well, the port it'll be closed for 36 hours. It should take less, but
Yeah, once they get it down and out of the way, the port opens up and business
Yeah.
as usual. Then they can take their time doing what they're
Yeah.
taking over towards La Quinta. I think.
and it's going over to
gonna
La
cut it
Quinta and to the GCGV laydown yard.
By the
or
way, the
something.
port state of the port meeting is today.
Okay.
Where is it?
It'll be
Yes.
at the Ortiz Center.
Ortiz.
That's true.
Since the
Jay will
port
be
since the
be
port
present?
owns the Ortiz
I
Center,
will see
they-
you
they
there.
always
I'll
wanna
be
have it.
dressed a little bit differently, but yes, I'll be there. Yes.
I'll
So
be-
who's the big speaker? The port commissioner? The head
David
honcho?
Ingles, the chair.
Yes.
And so it'll be David's last time he's terming out.
Will we hear from Jeff Pollock?
Jeff doesn't usually speak at these. Now,
No.
I've been to several
He's
things
there.
that Jeff has spoke at. I mean, stuff as big as, the World Hydrogen Conference in Rotterdam and stuff. He's had quite a few really, really big speaking positions. And he spoke about gray hydrogen, blue hydrogen, green hydrogen.
That seems to be
and
his
that's some-
passion lately.
I filmed that, and I don't know if I ever sent it to Jeff because I thought it was very impressive when you're sitting with all the world energy leaders in one meeting and you're on the panel of 4 up there.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
Got a question. So how are we keeping somebody from Thummel and Louisiana off the old harbor off ramp, the on
I'm
ramp?
sure they've got ramps. I mean,
They have it
I'm
blocked
sure
up.
they've got barricades, but it's going to be interesting seeing that part of it come down.
Yeah, sad and fun at the same time.
Yeah.
But good.
And we something funny one time. We always have a safety meeting before the port meetings, right? Any meetings.
Yeah.
And so one thing they say, have a muster point. Okay, if the case of an active shooter, you do this, and they send you out, and then go to someplace safety, and they'll tell you where that safety location to meet up at, right? So someone took a picture of it. And it was right under the old Harbor Bridge, right below a sign that says "Beware of falling objects." And I remember Sean brought that up in a meeting. Says, "Don't you think this is probably so? Who thought this out? Who in security thought this out?" It was funny, but
Well, so we had some movement this week. That you guys, we got the from the ISAC, we got the skate park up and going. Went
we
through
did get to
ISAC.
skate park, and Brent Chesney just walked in. I think we can wait, or we can talk about the skate park and run
Yeah,
through all that
about
right
it.
he
now.
was he was on the panel where they voted it up. Brian was down there.
Absolutely, and I'll let Brent get through that. He had some really good reasoning, and we
Yeah.
can talk about
I'll lay out the
de-scoping,
first-
and we can talk
yeah.
about all that, or
I'll
we-
lay
we
out
can
how
just-
it got to here,
we
and
can
then
just toss
Brent can
this.
take it from there.
Right.
We
Okay.
started actually, I think, Jay, when you were there.
True story.
And Cheryl Sechrist was probably the leader of this whole thing. She has kids, and our promise to her was, we're going to get this skateboard before your kids get to college. That's what we're going to try to do. And it took a while, but it's going to be at Village Park, and we first thing we did is we voted to recommend it. Well, what happened is there wasn't enough money to build one of the streets.
Yeah.
Sand Dollar to finish that paper street, which has been sitting there ready to go for 40 years.
Yeah.
And so we decided in the meantime, there was some more money going to be coming in later. We could use that money to get the skate part done at that time. And then by the time it got done, we'd be ready to build.
Right.
I have a
Sand
question
Dollar
about
out.
the skate park. Will it be large enough for SPMTs?
Yeah.
That's what they're going to use to
No.
roll the park in with.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to leave. But it was great. Seeing
Well, I
everyone.
was looking at the
Yes,
design
thanks for-
Glad you made it.
over
Thanks,
at
Lily.
West Guth Park that they're going to kind of base it on, and
I will see you soon.
it's kind of it's going to be cool once they get it done.
So from what I understand, and I think Jay's talked to a couple people, they have pop-out designs. Like the skate park is already set. You literally
Right.
just orient it in space and then set everything in, and it's all
they've-
done. So you don't have to pay for a
Right.
study or design work or all that. Like it's already set. You just pick
Right.
No,
the style
It's
and
called menu pricing, and they've been building these since the '60s. So
Yeah.
why reinvent the wheel?
The
Exactly.
main
It's
thing
really
is
simple.
to keep the city from hiring engineers to go re-engineer something that's been engineered.
Or even architects, exactly.
Because we're
So-
really working hard to keep the price of this down. In fact, we hope and think we can build this thing for within $700,000.
right. So before we
But
tear
but the city didn't believe us. Remember, Jay? The city engineers said, well, inflation and this and that, and they said, and they added another $150,000 that we didn't ask for. Actually, it's nice. But we don't plan to use that if at all possible.
we got County Commissioner Brent Chesney joining us.
Technically challenged, Brent Chesney, but yeah, I'm here, man. Here we
Oh,
go. I got
dude.
my phones working there. Here we
Man.
go. We're rocking and
Gotta
rolling.
wear the cans.
Good morning. Good
this
morning.
is like the third time I've seen you this week, and
I'm
it's
telling
barely
you.
Thursday. It's
Yeah,
good to,
right
yeah,
on.
it's
Let's
good to
keep
see you
going. What are you
around,
doing
yeah.
tomorrow, man? You
I know, right? Yeah. Good
Where are we
grief.
hanging out tomorrow, Jay? Wherever you want to go, man.
I know, right? I need to hang out at the office.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
the
probably-
problem.
I
probably a
did. Your
good place
boss
to
did
be.
call me about that.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
so
No, I'm just
Susie,
kidding.
yeah,
Just
no,
kidding. I don't even know if
gotcha.
you're probably the boss. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
sales
we had-
work. It's all yeah.
You know, middle management has its perks. yeah.
don't know
Anyway,
where you are.
Right on.
before we wind up going down the road, tonight is also the Coastman Bays Foundation Environmental Awards. I don't know if
cool.
you're going to go to that. It's down at the aquarium.
Wasn't
It's
aware.
yearly awards. There are so many good recipients this year. One of them is Catherine Tunnel. She does the Up to You
nice.
litter prevention program. She's also an islander out here. Catherine's been a great friend for a long time, one of my cohorts.
Nice.
Brian and Whitney Curry, who I actually trained on the Texas Floating Classroom, they're being honored. Steve Dial over at Flower Bluff, who I used to work with a long time ago. Jenny Pollock, speaking of Jeff Pollock, Jenny
nice.
Pollock, so Dr. Pollock is being awarded for higher education. And Alan Holt's hosting this again this year. Majesty Outdoors, who's
Yeah.
been a really big supporter of the youth programs and other things here around town. Teresa Carrillo, I don't know how she hasn't been, honored before. This is really good. And also my good friend Mary Kay Scaropa, who's been a long time
Man, she's
coworker.
a rock star.
She is. She absolutely is. So there's a lot going on this evening. I had to throw that out.
So you got lunch at the port And
then
man, you're gonna be eating a lot of rubber chickens.
I know, a lot of rubber chicken. I've got 2 or 3 pairs of clothes on me, so yeah, extra pair of socks, just like you yesterday. I mean, you were all over the place.
Yeah,
so.
it is what it is. It's
So
fun.
you guys,
It's
I
fun.
got a press release yesterday evening. The
Yeah.
county recovered
How about that?
1.9 million
Yeah.
from that got
Every
hijacked.
dime back. Pretty
How did
crazy.
that? How did you manage to do that? I was reading that. How do you go find money like that? It seems like it would have found its way to China or somewhere.
You work with the banks and you pray. To
Yeah.
be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
So you just go reverse the wire as quickly as you can. It was 3 different ones. A small one for about $50,000. Got that one back
Oh,
real
small,
quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then well, compared to the
Yeah, to a
900,000 ones.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then there was 3 different transactions, and we got all 3 of them back, and for a total of about 1.9, almost $2 million. And it was just a lot of diligence by law enforcement, the banks, Constance Sanchez, who's our interim auditor. You
Have any
the
idea
the
who
judge
did it?
is on it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Constance is awesome.
You have any idea who did it?
Somebody in Nigeria or somewhere. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
part of it is a lot of these times it goes to American banks, but the people are in another country, so it's not super easy and quick sometimes to get that money going from
Right.
the United States to it. So if you almost want it to be, if it has to happen, you don't want it to happen, but if it has to happen, you almost want it to be someone in Nigeria or some other country because it's not easy just to get it to go into that account and then go to another country. There's
Right.
like rules and stuff.
Sometimes it'll take two days to wire something to. The other day I wired some money to Africa.
Right, and
it
so
took
that's
a
part
day
of
and
it.
a half to get
Yeah,
to it.
and so we're fortunate, and we've got a lot of great processes in place, but people are infallible, and if your people
Yeah.
don't follow the processes, and that's what happened on this one. And the person that I was told the other day, the person that handled these is no longer with the county, and that's a good thing too. That's probably what needed to happen, and that was relayed to us by Constance the other day. She's acting interim right now, county auditor, and we got a new county auditor coming in, real talented guy, guy named Elias Sissimus, been around for a long time, was over at the appraisal district, and very smart guy.
Tell
and-
him not to fly too close to the sun on wings of wax.
yeah, absolutely. But we've upped our pay scales at the county to get some people there that we needed to get, and we couldn't get a CPA, a trained CPA that had auditing experience,
Yeah.
for what we were paying, and so we just, it was one of those deals we had to bite the bullet and do what we had to do, and so.
Well, you guys, since you were here last, you guys have gone out for proposals for the construction of the restaurant on Bob Hall Pier, right?
Nope. We have not gone out for that unless they've done it without me seeing it, because for construction. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
construction. I'm sorry. I was
Right.
reading a text from my wife saying good morning, so I needed it.
Yeah.
When
Gotta
she
get that
look,
first.
when my wife texts, I got to look.
Right.
That's
exactly.
and my kids every once in a while, but my wife for sure. Anyway, yes, my apologies. Yes, so the construction has been awarded for the space. Continue. They've done quite a bit of work for the coastal parks, so Scott Cross was real familiar with them, and they've been pretty well vetted. So we're excited about that. It's going to cost us more. Bottom
Yeah.
line, being transparent. When the current contractor bailed out on us because they didn't want to do it, we thought, well, we can fight with them and try to hold their feet to the fire, or we can
Right.
just say, you know what, you really don't want to do this. What are we
Brian's
going
got
to get?
$150,000 left over from the skate park.
Well, I'll take it. So anyway, we're working though, but we've got it. We've got it in the contingency, and I've added funds as I've come up with money. I've added to that fund to make sure that there's enough to finish it and to continue with a contingency. So we've got a contingency in there, and that's where this is coming from. And
So you go
we're gonna
out.
get it
So
done.
this is to get the people to build the structure.
Right, the
and then-
restaurant space and the concession. So a lot of people forget that. Well, not forget. We don't articulate it real well. So there's the if you're looking at the pier, there's the restaurant space on the left, and then there's the county concession on the left or on the right, where the bait and the tackle and the bathroom and all that. So that part was also pulled out because they didn't want to really do the vertical stuff basically, and that's
Right.
okay. I mean, that happens. I mean, it's costing us more, and we're going to have some disputes with them as we go forward, but not disputes that are going to stop stop us from getting the thing built. We're going to keep moving and getting it built, and then we'll fight over the disputes later. and
Well, that's
the way it goes.
the timeline is mostly what I hear from people is, you know, they're all asking, well, he said it was going to be done by the end of the year, and how close are
the
we?
pier
And-
will be, right?
Yeah, as all I can go on is what the contractor tells me, and
Yeah.
as of right now,
Yeah.
they have not told me any different. Now they could come in next week and say, "Hey, we're sorry, we're going to be middle of January," and it
Yeah.
could. And there's a little controversy. There's a little discussion on whether the contract is end of the year or beginning of January.
Yeah.
And so I've said that all along is that's the time
And, you
frame.
know,
I mean, it can change because I can't control the weather. I can't control the contractor.
Well, that's the deal.
I can't. Right.
if they have material delays, that's not the county's fault, you
Yeah,
know.
well,
And
and
what,
it's-
and
yeah.
luckily, you know, knock on wood, thank the Lord, we haven't had any bad storms or anything going through. But and people don't understand. In order to build any structure out there, the amount of permits that you have to have between what's on land and then what's in the water, it's just maddening.
Yeah, it's I say it all the time, tongue in cheek, but not really. If I never have to build a pier again in my life, I'll be a happy guy,
Yeah.
and that really is the truth. I mean, I love that we're going to get this done, but it's been 5 years of my life, and I mean not periodically 5 years of my
Yeah.
life. It's been I work on this project daily.
You've had
Sometimes
peer pressure.
Yeah,
I get it.
bada bing,
I
bada
get
bing.
it.
Yeah, that's good, Dale. Way to
That's
go.
pun of the
man.
day.
I mean, actually, that's pretty good. Pun of the day.
So
yeah,
about permits.
yeah.
What about the parking lot?
We're done. I mean, we got it.
Really?
Got it?
Yeah,
All
that was
right.
another thing that we didn't give up on, and that's kind of that's the theme of this whole pier is we never gave up, and it really, that's really what's happened. It's because it's been one hurdle after another, and people, all they want to see is the pier built. I get it. They expect me to do a job. I get it. We're going to do the job, but that's been another hurdle.
Well, the
The GLO was not going to allow us to do it.
Yeah.
Bottom line, and if you talk to John Michael and some of those folks that were around when we wrote our beach management plan when Gary Morrow was the land commissioner, it clearly articulates that we have the right to do it and to rebuild it.
There's an exemption.
But the
Yes.
GLO just didn't believe what we did, and so we were kind of like we were kind of at loggerheads with them. But the city actually kind of teed one up for us and said, "Hey, we're not going to give you a certificate of occupancy if
Yes,
you don't build
that's-
a parking area."
that's what I was gonna say.
For ADA and for fire and ambulance.
You
And I
have-
went, yes.
Yeah, you have city compliance that you have to do.
Yes.
Right.
Right, I
You have to
know.
fill that in, and it's like you want to go stay at your friend's house, and mom says no, and dad says yes, and then it's like, well, who's gonna win? Like, do you actually get to?
And
the minute it becomes a safety issue, then you.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, well,
it's the issue,
Yeah.
and the GLO does like to defer to the local governments.
Well, and the GLO had given us the okay to build the pier, so you can't tell us it's okay to build a pier and then
Yeah.
say
Well,
one of the requirements is this, and we're not going to okay that.
To my
because-
knowledge, they okayed the
then-
flyover that was potentially going to be like,
Yeah, I don't remember that. That was
Yeah.
a while back.
yeah.
That one
I
didn't.
was kinda
that one
looking
didn't-
forward
one-
to that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, for another 15 million.
That-
Sure,
and
we
that
got
was,
it right.
That was one of the things that allowed you to put the parking lot back on the beach. Exactly. So,
Well,
yeah.
right, and it's one of the, and I'm not sure even with the flyover that would have been enough because it could have gone into the dunes and then anyway we're not going to go down that road because that didn't happen anyway. So
Right.
at the end
These
of the
aren't the
day,
droids you're looking for.
Yeah, and at the end of the
Yes.
day, and that's the thing too. I've had the money available for that parking lot and that road replacement because it's not just the parking lot; it's that that road that comes out of the IB or the
Yeah.
Padre Bay office,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and that got washed out around the barrel time. And so I've had that money. It comes out of my Road District 4 funds, and that's been sitting there for a long time. So it wasn't the funding; it was just getting the GLO's final approval. And it was kind of funny. It was about 3 weeks ago, and I was coming back from Fort Worth. I'd gone up to see my Frogs. That was when they were winning football games.
Oh no.
I went up to see them play, and I was in the airport coming back. Yeah, we laughed. And Chief Wade calls me and says, "Hey, Commissioner, I just want to make sure they want me to sign this letter to make sure to require to give you your requirement on this parking lot. I don't want to make anybody." And I said, "Chief, please sign that letter as quickly as you can and send it over to us because yes, we need that, and we're not offended by you asking for that
Yeah.
at all." And so we sent that to GLO, and they said, "Okay, good." And so yeah, we're unless something changes, and it wouldn't surprise me if I get a letter tomorrow that says we don't have it. But I mean, right
Right.
now we do, and we've got the funding, and so that that.
So what is the order of the work then? So you've got
That goes
the
last.
pier will get
Yeah.
done
Yeah,
first,
that's last.
then the restaurant, I guess.
We met, yeah, and I would think we're gonna. to wait. I shouldn't say last. We're not going to wait for that road and that parking area.
Yeah.
We have to do that before the restaurant's built because you have to have the parking area and you have
Okay.
to have the C of O. Because so before we get
Yeah.
a C of O on the pier, we have to have the parking area.
Okay.
Now the road, we're
Right,
gonna
you don't want it to get trashed out
right.
by the equipment,
We don't
so
want
that's
the-
kind of
yeah.
one of the last
The
things. yeah.
construction, the folks have to stay off of it,
Right.
for construction, or they can pay for the re-road when they do it, when they're doing
Right,
it.
yeah.
But they'll know that. I mean, we'll coordinate with them, and that area right over there, as you know, as y'all all know, because you're all big beach people, is it gets real deep with sand. That sand
Yeah.
really, it's a bad area, right? I get calls, and people send me pictures. Kay, we're getting stuck in the sand. I'm like, well, don't drive in the sand, but but okay.
It hurts when I do this.
Yeah, but we'll come rake it, and we do. We rake it, and we work it, and we send people out there all the time to do it. But we need to get that road back on there. It's an area that really does need a beach road.
That's parking lot. I go back each week, 10 years ago in the moon and 15 years ago in the moon. And I was looking a couple of weeks ago, and 15 years ago, I had a picture of the parking lot washed away.
Yeah.
And then 10 years ago, same parking lot washed away because
Well-
you get the high water in there.
And the real problem with this, Dale, is that parking lot wasn't completely washed away after this one, but the GLO came in and at the
took the
time
rest out.
they took the rest out, and we
Right.
asked them not to, and they
Yeah.
did, and it wasn't the contractor's like, look, I'm the contractor, I'm
Yeah.
not told what
Right.
to do.
Don't
and-
shoot the
and-
messenger.
right?
Well,
and we
that's-
have, and the
that's tec-
GLO,
that's Texas
right?
Administrative Code. If it's more than 50%, then you got to.
And we could have refurbished it, and they know that, and they just don't like parking lots on the beach. And I
No.
mean, I get it,
It's
kind
one
of.
of the only parking lots on the beach on the
Yeah.
entire Texas coast.
And believe me, they remind us that all the
I
time.
So
know.
I guess
So-
the tables are going to go back
We're,
and all of that.
we're going to take a quick commercial break,
Yes,
but
sir.
when we come back, we're going to talk about tables, the possible benches, the cabanas, get a timeline on all this with County Commissioner Brent Chesney, Tyler Thorson, Dale Rankin, Dr. Brian Gully, Jay Gardner, and my name is Jacob Boggs. It is Island Moon Thursday. It's 0736, and we are so glad you're with us. Stick around on YouTube as well, and we will be right back on the radio.
First glass of water in the morning, to the clean dishes after dinner, and every
Okay.
refreshing shower in between.
Yeah, we talk about skate parks and Jay Gardner's great idea that worked. That what are you doing, right?
Dude, I mean, you carried it across the goal
Hey
line.
man,
so,
you know
yeah.
it's
Are we still on
teamwork
here?
makes the dream work.
Yes,
I
so
mean,
we
well,
are
'cause
still
Jay-
good on
Okay, so we're
still
on-
good on
we're
YouTube
still
Live.
on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
I need
sent
to
a
turn
thing-
on- There we go.
I
Commercial
sent
break
a
in
thing
progress.
to
What the-
Jeff
that's
Edmonds.
I
Oh,
didn't
it's
say
great.
anything bad or anything.
I sent a thing to Jeff Edmonds this week after that vote, and he said his response was he thinks that they can have a skate park up and going by this time next year.
And that was. Are we talking about stuff now? Or are you really? Or I don't know if
We're,
we're
on
YouTube.
YouTube
Oh,
Live still.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just not on the radio.
Right.
but
Well,
we're on
I don't know how
YouTube.
you want to do that. So I don't know if you want to wait and save that conversation for radio or
Yeah,
what
we
you.
can.
Yeah, it's up to
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine,
Anyway,
it's fine.
so I don't. Yeah. I don't know how you-
Housekeeping.
How
we
about
can-
the
I'll let
we
you
can-
guys do
We
it.
can do some housekeeping for a minute. We can do the weather. Hi. It's
Troy
it's not
McClure.
freezing outside. No, the weather looks really good. If you're thinking about coming down to the coast this weekend, everything looks great. The tides are high. Basically, if you're driving a boat in the Laguna, if it wasn't land before, you can get through it. Jacob, how's the surfing this weekend? It's kind of flat.
It's kind of on and off flat. Sorry, someone's work call.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So anyway,
Surf is not that great, longboardable, but with the wind all laid down, we've got actually gorgeous looking conditions. The water looks great.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Trout fishing should be good, so hopefully that'll hold up for the next couple weeks
Right.
for
Beach-
Sharkathon.
The
Beach-
weather has been great down here.
Beach
Just-
driving is outstanding because
Yeah.
the tides were up to the dunes last weekend, and
Yeah.
they're kind of receding a little bit as the moon goes away.
Fishing is good.
Fishing is outstanding. The redfish rodeo is going off on the jetties right now. All the jetties are
is.
just insane. There's-
Elbow room only.
There
Yeah,
are,
no
there
kidding.
are a lot of moon jellies. I will advise you though, and there's a lot
Right,
of
so
moon jellies in island moorings.
Don't get one up your shorts.
Right.
Unless you're
They
trying to make
don't-
a peanut butter and moon jellyfish sandwich. That's
right,
fine.
yeah, Nick Meyer was
But,
talking about that. They don't sting all that much, especially if you're used to getting hit all the time. When
Yeah, well,
beach
you
fishermen
know.
usually are, but they're annoying, especially if they get in close because they can tend to kill finger mullet when they go run out. When the tide starts running out, remember?
Right, yeah, when they get all churned up in the
Yeah,
surf and
and
start breaking
and
up,
it
and
can-
yeah.
So if you're
It'd be a big
thinking of
deal.
coming to the coast, this is a good weekend
Oh,
to
yeah.
do it. The
Yeah.
weather's good. The driving's
Beach
good. the
combing
fishing
is great.
good.
There's not that many people out there. If you want to get a good beach combing report, look at Jace Tunnel's article in the Island Moon. He's got a lot of good stuff going on.
Printed for the first time in Mexico.
Have you heard about pins driving?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's great on low tide.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
high
tide
tide
gets nasty.
There's
You
still
will get
that-
stuck.
There's still that pinch point at 39. They're still on furlough, so there's nobody at the entrance station, so you could just go through. The Rangers, we're not sure whether the Rangers are there or not. Boo boo.
There's
Like,
been
assume-
one in the
assume they
booth.
are.
There,
Yeah.
there's been one in the booth, but they just wave you through.
Kind of like the old days. It's a free open beach like it used to be
Yeah.
20, 30 years
Yeah.
ago.
It's nice. I've been down.
Right.
I drive every couple of
Yarborough
days.
still's open, right?
Yarborough is still open.
But it's
last
also-
we
it's
know,
always
yeah.
dicey.
Let's
So-
see. We should be coming back here in a little bit.
And Boo reminded me, and
Visit
so this is a good
Automotive
point.
Group,
So we get a lot of moon
3102
jellies
SPID
in
and
the bay, in Laguna about this point in time. That's because of the north wind. So the moon jellies, they really like
Automotive
Corpus
Group
Christi
since
Bay.
1966.
When we get the north wind, it sucks them down
Sort
here.
of like the Winter Texans.
4.1 and Retro
Yeah.
North wind, here they come.
Here they come. Yeah,
Sort of like
exactly.
the Sandhill Cranes and the White Pelicans. Are the White Pelicans here?
Yes, I saw my first group of white pelicans in the Oso the other day.
That's
actually.
a harbinger of the end of.
And Dee Dee's were spotted at Willie's Ranchita.
Okay, so it's
So, yeah,
season
that's
fall.
right. Yeah. It's wait, so time for the Sansa Belt, and you got to put away the white loafers. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, actually,
It
that,
is.
that was Labor Day, but we get kind of extended.
We are
it along,
back
especially
on
with
the
Air Pierre white strip.
on the radio.
You can still wear white pants down here this time of year, but you have to wear a white belt and white shoes and tell people you're from Lauderdale.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right there.
So
you
I
go.
get seersuckers in.
So Jay, these when you speak of these moon jellyfish, they're small, softball size type things.
Well,
right?
these are the kind of
And-
flat ones with the four circles
right
around them.
Right, and there's a bigger one that comes in sometimes. It's huge, the size of a basketball.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was trying to raise a 60-foot hatteras at the edge of the ship channel.
fun stuff.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But in working, trying to get slings on that thing and stop up all the holes in it, and I got those jellyfish got on me. Would lean up, the current would bring them by. I'd be in the cabin and the big
Ow.
old thing would be up
Ouch.
against me. Didn't notice till I got out and they had these big rings around my skin everywhere where it laid up. It wasn't terrible, but it would irritate the skin pretty good. But they were basketball size.
Oh,
and
yeah.
floating through like that.
Oh, yeah,
I
moon
haven't-
jellies.
do you know which one of those are?
They're
what?
shaped like those moon jellyfish, but
Oh, but just really big.
The cabbage heads. Yeah.
no, not
this
the
one,
cabbage
cabbages.
heads.
They
No,
don't-
these
you
are
can throw
flat.
those.
These are flat, like the
Wow.
nothing like
Oh yeah.
what we used to call the cannonballs.
Say hello.
Hey,
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning.
Hello.
All right. So anyway, now that we're
We're
back from
live.
commercial
There we
break,
go.
we were talking about what were we talking about anyway? The squirrel cage here
No,
on.
the timeline for.
Yeah, we can do whatever you want. Skate parks, timelines.
Yeah.
Well,
for
that's a
kids,
question I
whatever you
get
want.
is a lot is of
Skate
course
park, I
the
think,
restaurant is what people
Yeah, let's talk about it, sure.
and then Briscoe King as well.
Yeah.
You've got that coming down the
Yeah,
pike.
we did.
That's funded.
no, that's great. Yeah, where are we
We
at
got
on
so much going on. Really, and I gave my presentation to PB the other day, and I've got so many projects going on the island of Port Aransas. It's millions of dollars that we're going to be doing. My whole presentation, I just gave just Port A and the island and a little bit on the Bluff because I'm going to do a little bit more work on Parker Pool. I got a little more money for that, so we're going to do some stuff
great.
over there. And people
Thank
on the
you.
island really use Parker Pool a lot
Yes.
because it's the only community pool.
It's the closest
So
pool.
yeah, so we're going to do some fencing and the kitchen redo, and so that pool's just going to be in tip top shape. But the restaurant is going well. Like I said, it's going to cost more. The timeline, we're waiting on the county attorney to finalize the contract, and once that does, they're ready to go. They've already been meeting with the current contractor on the pier, they being LMC, the current contractor is Callan. They have already started coordinating meeting on who's going to do what electrical, and
Right.
because there's going to be some overlap, and who's going to take care of it and so forth. But they're mobilized, they're ready to go. I don't think it'll be a real slow, like 30 or 45 days. Once we
Right.
give the notice to proceed, I think it'll be pretty quick. They say it's a 7 to 9 month build, which makes sense, right? So that would mean hopefully the restaurant will be open sometime in maybe August of next
So
year. I'm just
sometime
thinking-
in early 26, you'll probably go out looking for an operator for the restaurant.
Yeah,
have
I
you
would
had
think-
any?
yeah.
Have you had any feelers from
Yeah,
people?
yeah, we have, and I've had 2 or 3 calls and local people that are interested, local good restaurateurs that are interested. Now, whether they put in their bids at the end of the day, I don't know.
Right.
I'm hopeful. It doesn't have to be local, but we certainly have a preference for local because they'll put more blood, sweat, and tears into it,
Sure.
right? It'll matter. People will be able to have their input on what's going on. The Coastal Parks Board, they'll do that. They'll send that out. I'm sure it'll come back to the Commissioners Court to ratify. But that's the Coastal Parks Board job. I know they'll do a good job. Whoever's going to apply needs to have the financial wherewithal. That's got to be a part of it. You're
Right.
going to have to show your financial ability to really
Right.
do the job.
Right.
That's a big deal. It's going to be someone hopefully that's got a proven track record. It's going to be a prime space.
It's 5,000 square feet, right?
It's going to be pretty darn sweet space. It's going to be newish. If
Yeah.
they're going to retrofit the old space and they're going to make new the new, that's going to be a pretty cool space. One of the best probably views maybe
Right.
in the entire Texas coast.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty neat.
When do you expect construction or something to move forward on Briscoe King? Do you know?
Yeah, we're supposed to get the 90% design submitted to us at the next Commissioners Court meeting. Now, I will tell you, I've seen preliminary numbers and it's high.
Yeah.
And I've got a meeting on Friday. Like I say, if I didn't have a hurdle on the island, I don't know what I'd do.
Right.
So Briscoe King, it's like everything else. You ask for a certain amount because you think it's going to be X, and
Right.
then some other stuff gets thrown in that we weren't anticipating, and so basically the numbers have come back high. And so I've got a meeting on Friday on Briscoe King with the architect that's designing, or an architect engineer, and Scott Cross, and I think Troy will be there.
Yeah.
And we're going to start value engineering now and getting that down. And
You got $6.5 million in the TERS money.
5.9.
5.9.
5.9, and that's in our bank, and we've got it. So we're waiting, and we anticipated having to go back to the TERS, for that parking lot.
Yeah.
But the preliminary numbers on just the building alone are higher than anticipated. So I'm not going to go back to the TERS until I feel very comfortable that we have really done everything we can
Yeah.
to be reasonable in what we're doing and what we're designing, and I have great confidence in the lady that's doing it. I just need to tighten those numbers
Well,
up.
I was looking through. There was a TERS meeting this Tuesday. Brian was there, and they presented financials that were current as of August of this year. And I believe there was, I think, I'm going from memory, I think it was 6.5 allocated in the TERS for Briscoe King. So there
No.
may be some more money.
I
in
wish there was, but I think it was
Yeah,
5.9.
5.9.
If there is, I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
I think I made one of those motions. It's one of those things. It
Yeah.
was 5.9.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's a choke point around 2028 where we dip down pretty precariously
In the
low.
TERS.
And all of this depends on how much money comes in taxes.
Sure.
Well-
And so if the developments that are going on out here slow down, then the money coming in slows down.
Well, sorry, I walked away for a minute, but I'm going to jump back in. And Peter alluded to this at the TERS 2 meeting the other day. They're going to do end of the year closeout. There are some of the projects that are coming in under
Right.
budget. Some of the
think
projects that
there's
aren't
more
kicked
money.
off yet. He's like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
They think there's more money, and the what they give you is the reports as they have them, right? And,
Right.
and you're
Right.
right. It's 28 where there's a little dip down,
Or from
but then it starts
FY,
to come
yeah,
back up even with
exactly.
that. And then once they get those end of the year reports that Jay's talking about the projects that have come in under, which is kind of crazy. All mine are none of mine are coming in under, but thank
Yeah,
goodness there's
right,
somebody
yeah.
coming in under somewhere, because it ain't
Yeah.
mine right now. Freaking Bob Hall Pier, I got to turn every time I turn around, I got to add another. Whatever. Anyway,
Right.
we're going to get it done. We're going to build that thing. I think that's going to make that TERS look better too.
Right.
And-
De-scoping the paper streets, de-scoping Encantada culverts, and then also de-scoping the effluent reuse. There's,
Yeah, and some of those, that was one of the discussions we had at the TERS, and Brian was there and Jay was there, and was look, from the county's perspective, some of these projects are a little tough for us to swallow, not because we don't think they're needed, but because county money is building
Right.
city streets, and that's a little
Right.
tough for me to,
Sure.
because I got county roads I need to build, and I'm not building them, right? But things like skate parks, which are great community projects, things like Commodore's Bridge, in addition to the development going around
Right. The
Commodore's Bridge,
circulation, water
that's
quality,
that's a
mobility,
totally
right.
that spurs
Absolutely.
development.
Right.
I want something that's going to spur development, and these paper streets, you can argue it could spur development, but then Mark Scott made a really good point and said, hey, look, when we build streets, don't tell Mark I said he made a good point, okay?
right.
I'm kidding.
No, yeah.
I love Mark. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so he said, hey, look, a lot of times, we make developers who are going to do stuff, build part of our roads as
Right.
well. And so, do we want to go build these paper streets in full when maybe developers should share in that? And that was a good, a pretty good point. That
Well, if
maybe,
you look around the city, TERS are not used to build streets. That's an island thing.
Well, here's the thing. When you were saying that yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Brent, I was thinking that, but if you look at what's going to spur development and get it back in the TERS money to be used for these other projects, we've got to build things vertically out here.
well, that's what I'm saying.
And-
like, if
and
you've got a specific development,
if you're sitting there and there's a street that the property's owned by the city, the easement's there by the city, it's not going through somebody's development and you're getting the city to build it for them, then 40 years we've been waiting for that street to be built.
Right.
There's 20 people that own property.
That's the
they-
definition of the paper streets.
And they,
Yeah.
in
exactly.
the TERS.
And
Right.
they are waiting to develop, but either one of those people can't pay for everybody else's development. So that's what government, one of the few things I think government's for, is to gather everybody to do something so it'll spur this development. As soon as those houses, and nowadays you're talking about $500 to $1 million plus houses, as soon as they go up, then everybody gets that increase in the money. Half of yours goes to the back to the TERS for your project for your parking lot that's going to be coming up, but the other half goes to the county to spend on other projects in the county. So everybody,
yeah,
especially the
75%.
school
Yeah,
district,
we're at 75,
benefits
yeah.
immensely
Right.
from this because they don't leak anything to the TERS.
Right.
So those paper streets can get money back in the TERS within 9 months to a year.
not about
If they
9
can-
months
if
to
they
a
can
year.
build.
It can
Well,
definitely. I'm going to argue with the 9 months on a year, but
okay, let's say
5 years.
Let's
But-
say 5.
I built a building the other day, and it
5.
actually finished in eight months.
What do
I
you
was
got?
surprised as hell. But within a year, you can start seeing houses coming up or businesses or whatever going up. But for 40 years, they haven't been able to develop on this property.
Well, it kind of
Somebody's
comes,
got to help them get the utilities.
kind of comes full circle. We were talking on this show a few months ago about the paper streets and that there was some difficulty in getting them built. Why not repurpose the money and use it for a skate park? And that's pretty much where
It
we
was-
are.
Well, and that comes down
let's
to-
talk about the Jay Gardner deal. I mean,
Yeah,
that was. I'm going to call it the
timing.
Jay Gardner, skate park for a moment because right now, and I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
haven't
sort of just
skated in
kidding. Or the
years.
Cheryl.
Yes.
Well, maybe it's a
Cheryl
Gardner
Segrest.
Segrest. Yeah,
It's
well,
Cheryl
right.
the
Segrest. She was
yeah.
a bulldog.
No,
on
no,
that
no.
whole
That's what I'm saying. We
project.
can call it the Gardner Segrest skate park. Anyway, so Segrest Gardner. Sorry, Cheryl. So,
Yeah, right,
so
yeah.
at the end of the day, we all wanted to do the skate park, but okay, how do we do it? It's not a county project because it's not a county project, right? But what the county is grappling with in the big picture, and we're going to have a TERS policy on our agenda that the judge asked me to take a shot at drafting. I put it out there once, and everybody wanted to digest it, and I'm going to put it back on next meeting because we, for better or for worse, we get abused in these TERSs, right? And really the one that's the worst abuse, and it's no secret what I feel about it because I've said it, is the downtown one. There's things being spent on that downtown TERS that the county should have no involvement in paying for.
It's a-
City street
it's a
cleaning,
different animal.
police reimbursement,
Giving money to
paying for
hotels,
paying
giving
for the
money-
downtown management district,
Right.
giving money to charities to improve their facilities, and the charities are not even paying taxes anyway, so they're double dipping. No offense to the charities, but because they're great organizations. But why is the
Right.
TERS paying for charities to rebuild their property, and they're not even paying property taxes on the charity property?
You're
It
exactly
doesn't
right.
make sense, and so that's what spurred a lot of our conversation. Then the London TERS came into play, and we went, hey, let's come up with a new model with this London TERS that we can use for all the TERSs going forward, so that if anybody comes and wants to do a TERS,
Yeah.
they can say, okay, if you want a TERS, this is what the county's requirements are, this is what the county's policies are. So that's what we're going to do, because we got to be consistent at least in what we
Yeah.
do. If we do something in Island TERS, we got to do that in downtown, North Beach, and everyone else.
Are there other
Otherwise,
areas that
we're
are
being
that are
fake.
trying
we
to
can't do that?
Are there
Right,
other
no,
areas that are
that's
trying to
good.
line up to get a TERS?
I've heard there's another one coming. Yeah.
Well, you
Okay.
guys had an issue out
Yes.
there in an unincorporated area. They were going to fund start a TERS, right? They were going
Well,
to use it to
that's-
build some streets or something.
That's the London.
Yeah.
London.
Yeah. So London, that one is a different one
TERS
because
14 coming
well,
soon.
because well, and I don't want to get into the London one because we're talking island stuff. But
I
at the
know,
end of the
right.
day,
Thank you, Brad.
the island TERS, we are happy to participate in the TERS. The county spent 20 years in that TERS for the Packery Channel, which was a 100% a city project. But 100%, am I happy that I participated in it? You bet, because when I was on the city
Right.
and I developed that TERS. and figured out a way to get the county in, I was thinking, what a deal that is for the city. Now I'm at the county, guys,
right.
and I got a whole different perspective because I'm looking at this
Right.
going,
Perfect.
okay, why am I going to pay for a city street with county money unless you can show me markedly where the development's going to happen, and you can show me, somebody comes in and on that paper street, Brian, and says, hey, if you guys build a paper street, I promise you I'll build 200 houses tomorrow. Okay, well, that's different. But just to build a paper
Do
street,
we have
in-
to build
in
200, or can we
hopes-
build like 10 million?
Well, I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, you know what I'm trying to say.
And that's exactly what
Because
we were talking about.
we got these other developments that we're already putting in money that's going to pay for city things like Whitecap and Lake Padre and others that we're already doing, and we did that readily because they had a development plan that showed us what was going to happen with the money that was spent. If someone
Right.
does that, that's a different deal.
Right, exactly. And so that's exactly what Brian and I were talking about
Yeah,
at the
just show
subcommittee
me the
meeting the
money.
other night. We've got 3-4 segments of paper streets that we need to go in on. And so we're prioritizing which paper street is going to give the best bang for the buck.
And that's
Develop
great.
first,
and
right?
that's
Is it-
Is
appreciated.
it Palmyra? Is it North Crow's Nest? Is it South Crow's Nest? Or is it Sand Dollar? Which one of those is going to give us the best bang for the buck?
What?
we
How are you?
appreciate that.
How
Thank
are
you.
you judging? How are you judging that? What's the criteria?
By the number of B lots, number of cut throughs. Obviously, it's Sand Dollar. It's Sand Dollar.
Which I think is
Yeah.
the one we're funded,
Well,
right? I
that's
mean, that's the
right,
one we kept on
exactly.
there.
And I talked to Ajit David, who's got the property, half the property on Sand Dollar. Well, Gabby Hillpole has some as well. She's had for many, many, many years.
True
But
story.
they've had this for 3 years or 4 years. And I asked him specifically, "Are you ready to develop something over there?" And because I've seen different plans with different
Yeah.
owners, and he says, "Well, actually, we're doing a couple other projects first, so we're not ready to develop that yet."
Right.
They're
But
doing a
it's-
hotel.
But it's the one that has the closest design to being shovel ready, and it's
And
got
we're not
some
gonna back
utilities.
out on
marked-
that.
Yeah,
You heard me say that. We're not backing out.
It's too far along to stop at this point because it's got utilities. And stuff.
And we talked about that. Like stuff that's already done, we don't need to go undo. We're just asking, and I said this, you were there, and I know you'll take that back as our ISAC representative, is, hey, just be cognizant of the county's change of position on
Right.
things. We need to see a development plan that's real and that's going to happen. And that's okay. That's a different deal than just saying, let's build paper streets that we think will eventually spur development that might happen somewhere down the road.
Absolutely.
Right? That's all we're asking.
Business
That's
plan.
all we're
So
asking.
Right.
what I
And-
started working on yesterday,
and those are the
is this
numbers
came out of our
that he's digging up. Yeah.
This came out of our committee, and it came to all of us back from the committee. We met after the TERS meeting at my house, and I'm putting
It was a
together
good meeting.
what is proposed to be, because I have some property. I have Vertimar on Vertimar, which would be on Sand Dollar, but I don't need it because my utilities are on Vertimar. But I'm going to go in there and look at all the tax records. I called Randy Wilbank. I sold him a bunch of lots on Crow's Nest a long time ago. What do you have planned? If you had a street and if you had a utility, that's utilities there. I'm going to work on the water side because I know what that's worth. And then I'm going to talk to Deborah Maureen down at the appraisal district.
And that's awesome.
And I'm going to say, I'm not using names, and I want you to look at the owners on this thing because I don't want to get them in trouble. But how much would you raise this if we had a street and utilities? Because right now you argue that property said it's useless.
Right.
You
No, I
can't
get
get
it.
to it.
No, no,
It has
I-
no water, no sewer, no nothing.
Right.
But the minute it does, number one, the lots go up, and you know what lots cost out here.
Yeah.
Number two, people will start building because they can't build yet. And when that happens, like I say, the county gets their share. Del Mar gets their share.
And that's what
The
I'm saying.
school gets their share, the city
show
gets
us,
their share.
show us
And
a
TERS
business
definitive
plan.
plan that
Mhm.
says we've
I
got a
agree.
developer ready to go.
gonna-
We've got a Lake Padre, we got a Whitecap, we got a whoever
Right, yeah.
that it's going. Here's what we're going to do. The canals are going to get dug. What's going to happen? And that's a different argument than just let's put.
But it's a discussion that
Millions.
needs to happen.
Well,
Absolutely
and
needs to
that's the
happen.
discussion that we started the other day in the subcommittee that's going to wind up getting teased out. And these are Bond 2026
Right on.
and TERS recommendations that are going to come from
And we
ISAC.
count on the ISAC. I mean,
Yeah.
Brian knows and Jay knows. I mean, a lot of us have gone to bat hard to say, look, because staff pushes back and says, well, y'all don't even need to, ISAC doesn't even need to be involved in this. And we're like, well, but we want them involved in this. Yeah, right. And so we push back hard on that and we say, look, ISAC's there for a reason. And we've only got one county rep on there, and it's Brian. And I mean, we don't even have that much representation on ISAC, but I still rely on it because of the people who
So
are on
look
it
at-
that I know
Absolutely.
are very cognizant of good things going on the island.
You
So
know- you know-
I listen to what ISAC says.
But yeah, public comment, if you thought public comment's going along these days, I mean, that's what these subcommittees are for.
Absolutely.
ISAC is one of the ones that, I had 100 people in my ISAC meeting over the golf cart issue. It's like, Holy smokes! And so we had to go through. We went through that at
I remember
ISAC,
that,
or
yeah.
others. There was going to be 100 people at City Council doing public comment, and they
Yeah.
probably would embark up your skirt
You don't need
as
to-
well.
And you know what? That's it is what it is.
we're there
right?
to
I mean,
vet
we're
and-
public figures, and I'm
Yeah.
public. We're elected officials. I can take all the public comment you want, and that doesn't bother me.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Be
but I'm
careful
not.
what you ask
Yeah.
for.
No. I mean, but I'm not going to. Anyway, we'll
The
talk
line's
about
starting
that.
at the front of docks here.
Well,
Yeah. Come
we
on
should
in.
probably
Come on in.
Come on in, yeah.
for those who are
Hey,
not
Ted
fami-
Mandel's been public commenting for years, haven't you,
Yeah,
Ted?
yeah.
Right?
Ted's
And I'm good with
making
Ted. I
trouble.
love Ted.
For those that are not familiar, a TERS is designed to you set a date. In this case, 2002. New construction after that time, inside the TERS boundaries, you earmark property
Baseline.
tax from the
Baseline.
county
Right.
and the city. The school, the college district does not participate.
Not in this one. They did for a
And
while. They were in
they
this
used
one
to for-
originally.
yeah.
Because they've got
And
this
they're
policy that they only go
15
10
years,
years,
yeah,
and
or 10,
Yeah,
yeah,
and they're one of our major taxing entities.
Yep.
when
Right,
you look
same
at
as
your
the
tax.
county, pretty much.
And so that money then stays in the TERS to build infrastructure that spurs further
And that's awesome.
development.
And it's
And
awesome.
the one on the island is the second. I think the downtown is the first one.
Yeah.
And it was formed out here on the island to
We're two.
pay for Packery.
Yeah.
We're two. Downtown
Sounds
and North Beach
three
are
of
3 and 4.
What's
yeah.
one?
What is one?
I thought it
Uh,
was downtown. No.
I didn't know. It's 3 and 4 because we
3 and
got
4,
that
yeah.
coming
So,
up on the agenda coming up.
at
too.
the
Right,
the,
yeah.
the base of that street right at 361 is that will be the speedy stop, right?
Yeah.
Are they waiting on the paper street and that intersection
No,
to be
they've
done?
got their. I communicate with them every 6 weeks or so,
Okay.
and they were waiting on the right of way behind there on the north side of their property to come out on 361. That's since been done, but they got a deal on the dirt. And,
Okay.
and they moved it in early.
Okay.
It came from the land. They just had a deal. They're not behind schedule. They're just on their own schedule.
Okay.
So
yeah.
we did talk about the skate park before we went to YouTube break, and I do want to go back there because I have been told the same thing, that there's no reason that this skate park can't be done pretty darn quickly because it's a prefab kind of deal.
It should
Right.
be design build
Yeah,
by
and
the same
right.
contractor.
And so
That's
it
the
should
whole
be
idea.
pretty darn quick. I don't know what pretty darn quick means, but
Well,
that was part of the reason we did what we did.
Yeah.
was
Right.
because it's going to have an immediate effect, and people like to see immediate things, right?
Yeah.
And that skate park, you know, when you from the time it's approved to the time it's built, it should be less than a year.
Absolutely.
I would
Well,
think.
Jeff Edmonds
And-
said, I
and
quoted
that's
him
significant.
in the story I did this week. He said he thinks he can have it up and going by this time next
Right.
year.
Which is cool.
And it
because
was
it's gonna help
previously
the
in
kids
the
on the island.
phase
Yes.
3 of the Commodore's Park,
Right,
which
so
was
it
some
was
years
it
down
was
the road.
it was like the last item on phase 3 of Commodore's Park, and so you know I don't know where we're going with that, but
The Seekers kids would be.
exactly. yeah.
Well,
That's a city problem. I got my own.
We will
Yeah,
get
yeah,
we
yeah,
will
yeah.
get right back with that, but I will let
Yeah.
you know it is 8:02 here
yeah.
from Doc's Steaks and Seafood on a beautiful Island Moon Thursday on KUKA Driscoll, Texas 105.9 and 103.3 and on Retro Tejano 104.1. We're going to do a quick radio commercial break and we will be right back.
And shout out to Dan Suckley who's listening.
Maintain a clear pathway for waterway commerce so that our customers
Okay,
can deliver
but we are
goods.
still on.
Yes.
Right. So
Coffee break.
yes, you can do that.
Bathroom break. How about that?
Yeah, you can do that too.
Reload, get some
I'll
sarsaparilla.
let you be the filler, man.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this weekend is Turnpike Troubadours and Randy Rogers at Concrete Street. If you're thinking about coming down, the State Fair is going on in Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the Gazins are going up there.
Okay.
Apparently, the cost of a corny dog is now $18.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the attendance is down, and yeah,
And so you know.
I think you have to have a mortgage for that.
So the great thing is, State Fair, downtown DFW, they have like 5 or 6 TERSs as well, and that's
San
going on.
Antonio now has 30 or something.
Yeah,
they have a lot of them.
Yeah. I
And
guess
they're-
that's the
and
new funding.
But
source.
they're all different. And they all should have their own set of guidelines on what they
and
can
that's
be used for.
and then that's exactly
I mean, I
what Brent
agree
was
with-
saying. He
I
was
agree
trying
with
to.
Brent exactly, but the downtown's completely different than what the money should be.
Yeah,
used for.
absolutely.
Well, they tend
They
to-
do
and-
reimbursement for renovation. Yeah.
What
the
you guys have
downtown
been
TERS.
pushing back on is they kind of became a catch-all for just fund it through the TERS.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it was
You gotta be careful.
$250,000 a water flow study came to the TERS.
Well, I
and didn't
mean,
get funded, but that was kind of the mentality.
And
Is
that's
just take it
because-
out of the TERS.
That's because they
Yeah,
listened
Brian.
to us. And
Yeah.
we voted on the island in ISAC. We voted. We're not against this. Anybody want to do a study?
Right.
We just don't feel like we should pay for the study to protect
No,
the,
yeah,
private,
yeah.
the private houses and the island.
It went to the TERS, and they sent it to ISAC, and ISAC vetted it, and the answer was don't fund it.
yeah, no.
And that's where it
But
went.
at the end of the day, the TERS is a really good mechanism. What it does is it raises money locally and keeps it locally.
Yeah.
Instead of going off into the ether. You
Well,
know?
it was used to.
That's why this is different from in the downtown is somewhere because what happens downtown is used by everybody in the city. If we develop our
Right.
downtown, it'll be a benefit to everybody in the city.
Yeah.
Especially the island. The projects we do on the island are a benefit. This is the playground of the city.
Right.
This is our #1 tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And the playground of
the
city.
Lexington and Aquarium might argue with you on that one.
Well, I'm on the executive board of the aquarium. I agree with you, but
The numbers don't lie.
That place comes from all over the state as well. And the beautiful thing is when you start getting enough things to attract people from out of town, they'll go see the aquarium, they'll go see the aircraft carrier,
Yeah.
they'll come to the beach because believe me, that's going to be on their list.
Yeah.
And then the kids go see the pier, the new pier, they walk out and look at the pier, maybe they want to fish, and then they take the kids to the skate park.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to get
Getting
so many
some synergy
attractions of
going.
an area that people want to take a
Well, I
few
think you're
days
going to see
vacation
we
down
were
here.
talking about Briscoe King and the pier and the restaurant down there. You're going to see that. You've got some new stuff going in on the seawall. We're getting some synergy. We're getting an entertainment
right.
district
That's right.
thing kind of going out here.
that?
And it's something we've always said for years what we
Surge,
need
what
are
am I looking at?
attractions. We need stuff for people to
that
do.
are watching.
And that's
Oh,
kind
wow.
of where we are.
To everybody watching on YouTube.
But
Yeah. Hello, we're still on.
but I do think that
All right, coming back.
I'm scared. We're coming back. What do I say, Tyler?
Now, live from Doc's Seafood and Steaks, it's Island Moon Thursdays.
Right. So one of the other things we need to get to, several things. We've talked about Commodore, and thanks for listening, Sergio. He's actually watching on YouTube. from the
Commodore's
park.
Bridge, man, it's done.
It's awesome.
It is.
I mean, come on. Who'd ever thought
Now-
we had Commodore's Bridge?
I know.
I mean, you know,
Three or
that's what TERS are for.
3 or 4 years ago, we weren't even going to have a canal. Now we got a bridge.
Yeah.
Well, and now the question is the stop sign.
Stop sign.
Which is it's a TxDOT decision, right? They're the ones ultimately.
They say no.
do
I got
that?
that phone call this week. They
What's
they,
the
they wish
official?
to be left out of that conversation.
So that's a city deal. That's a city deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't know who would actually have the authority to
I think
say
it's the
whether
city.
yeah.
I think it's going to end up at ISAC, don't you, Brian?
Well,
It's already been there. We had
Yeah.
we had some public comment on that already
Yeah.
last meeting.
Well,
so-
ultimately, when that's going to be one of the main entrances for Whitecap NPI. I mean, it should be a light eventually, right?
You would think. But right now, the question is whether or not to put stop signs at each end of the bridge. I think people are split. I
Yeah.
talk to people on both sides of that. Depends on whose ox is being gored, right? If you're coming from the Primavera side, you don't want one because you're going over the bridge. If you're coming from Cabana and you're trying to get on to Commodore's, you want a stop sign. So I don't know what the answer is. What I've learned about traffic flow is it's usually counterintuitive.
Yeah.
The stuff
what
that you
think
look
would
at
be-
and
yeah.
think would work is the opposite of what you end up wanting to do.
Well, I think we talk to the city and get their what their suggestions are.
Yeah.
And then if we think that's not right, then we can voice that opinion. But we're not experts either. So
Right. Which I think I think the public is gonna want to be heard from.
Sure.
I
And
think I'm
that's-
gonna do a poll on the Moon
Okay.
Facebook page because I think.
But tell them, please do not enter this poll unless you drive it both ways a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
You know, I thought an interesting deal came up yesterday. Going back to the TERS for a second, is and it was the mayor who brought up this whole maintenance stuff that goes on these projects, right?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that's fair, Mayor. If
He's talking about the skate park.
Yeah, she was talking about the skate park. I said, well, okay, if you're going to say that, then I'm going to say, hey, look, what about maintenance on Briscoe King? Because if it's a TERS project, it's a TERS project. We put money in for Packery Channel. There's a consistent amount of money putting in for maintenance for these projects. If these are two truly community projects, truly qualified for the TERS, then, are we going to have a discussion that says on every project, we're going to also put in money for maintenance of those projects? Because, I don't know. The answer is I don't know
Okay.
because if
So-
you're going to ask for it,
Right.
then I'm going to ask for
Jay,
it.
Jay's
I mean, I
itching
don't-
to say, and I know what he's going to say. But
and I mean, I don't know. It's a tough.
he's on the Parks Board.
It's
so
a
let's see
wicked
what
web
Are
we
you,
weave.
are you
right?
talking about the $4.5 million that we have in reserve for Packard Channel
Well,
maintenance?
that's what this TERS was set up for. Is to
Originally.
maintain.
Was
We can
Packard
always,
Channel
yeah,
maintenance,
originally is to maintain. We can always maintain this channel.
Brian knew
That's
where I
the
was
number
going.
one priority
True
for this
story.
TERS, as I understand.
Was
it.
maintenance.
But
Exactly.
fortunately, what we're talking about specifically is a skate park, which, when you consider the park takes care of the park grounds, who takes care of the concrete? Well, there's not a lot. There shouldn't be a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, I
on
was
that
gonna
for,
say.
for a
No,
long
right?
time. But you're right
Yeah.
about Briscoe King because it is. But if we do that, then the streets normally when the city builds the streets, they maintain the streets.
Right.
We can't 30 years from now maintain a paper street built 30 years before on the
Right.
TERS and obligate ourselves to
Well,
fix
and
everything
that
else.
was all I was saying to
So-
the mayor was if that's where
Yeah.
you're going to go,
Right.
then that's where I'm going to go.
Ooh.
So be careful if that's where you
and
want
we
to
don't
go.
want you. We don't want you to go there
Well,
because then our
mean,
TERS projects get
Right.
limited.
I mean,
But
like-
somebody has to
but I
be
mean,
responsible. In this case, the
Right.
county. I assume
So-
the county's going to be responsible.
Is the TERS 2 going to, maintain the paper towels in the men's restroom?
No,
I mean,
it's
at
a
what
weird-
level?
No,
at
it's-
what
well, it's a
level is
slippery
maintenance?
slope. I
Jay,
mean,
that's going to be on TERS 86.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
because
exactly.
I think because Brian's right. I mean, and again, I hate to say Brian's right. Don't tell him I said that. But oh wait, he's right there. But no. But I mean, seriously, like that's the original intent of TERS 2 was Packard Channel and its maintenance. So I've got no issue having money set aside for that because that was the original intent of the TERS. As Everett Roy talked about, hey, these TERS have sometimes evolved. This one has evolved
Absolutely.
in a positive way.
Yeah.
But you can't ask for maintenance on other than Packard Channel, which is what it started. If you ask for maintenance on any other project out of the TERS, then I'm going to ask, and everybody's going to
But
ask.
there's a difference between projects that generate their own income and those that don't. Packard Channel doesn't. Briscoe King will.
But it's not. It's not going to make. I mean, it's going to generate revenue, but it's still going to cost us money.
Right.
Which is going to decrease either the revenue that we make, or whether it's a profit center, it's going to decrease the profit center, or if
a
it's
good
not a
point.
profit center, it's not going to make it a profit. It's
Right.
not. It's going to. So it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. You can't pick and choose.
Well, but
other
so-
than
but-
Packard Channel, which projects you pay for maintenance. That's not fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what are you doing with the TERS out in London? I mean, okay, we're going to build some
We're
streets.
not doing
we-
anything. There's no maintenance.
No,
in
no, no.
that.
You talked
Oh,
about
sorry.
you guys were going to set some ground rules for the new TERS out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some of the county's points for getting in new TERSs out there?
Well,
Especially,
let me tell you what we've done on the TERS that's going to change the way
I mean,
TERSs are
like
done.
fire, you know what I mean?
Well, that's not happening. We put in not city fire. We
Right.
put in a
No, no,
ve-
no,
we
county,
put in
yeah.
a veto
ESD,
clause
yeah.
in the London TERS,
Right.
and we have put the city on notice that the county is not going to be the redheaded stepchild anymore. We're going to be a partner in this, which means we're going to have real say, not just, like on the downtown TERS, we have one board member and Pusley gets outvoted all the time. So that's not happening
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
We're
Is he
gonna,
chair
if
still?
No, he's not. He's not. He's
Okay,
not even an
anyway, sorry.
officer. And
Yeah.
we're going to change all kinds of requests for these TERSs. One is we're going to have veto ability on what the TERS boards do, because if there's going to be misspending and we get outvoted, we're not going to do that anymore. It's just not going to happen. And that's what's happening on that downtown TERS. It's not happening here.
Okay.
It's not. But
Yeah.
it's not. But it is.
Well
but it-
represented.
right. But we're well yeah.
But it seems like a natural progression in the process.
It is a natural progression. of the
It's
process
something
because
that needs to be done.
And it's taxpayer money, and it's our county taxpayer money, and we have to have a stronger say in that. We can't just give it away like we've done in the
Without
past.
representation.
And so we're going to have a
Taxation
veto
with
clause, and when we
representation.
renew these TERSs coming up, we're going to put the veto clause
Good.
in all of them.
So for those who are unaware,
Good.
break down the tax incremental reinvestment zone. So for how long was the downtown one?
We're 17 years into that one.
Okay,
17 years
so
into
it's
that one?
headed- It's
Okay.
headed towards renewal.
That
And
renews
so
in 28.
The whole point of a TERS is to take, is it county or city taxes? Or both.
That,
Okay,
yeah,
county
yeah,
and city
yeah.
taxes go into that
And
same
can be
location.
Del Mar too.
Okay.
Del Mar's going to be, I think, in the London TERS also.
Why are they not in the island TERS?
They are.
They were.
They were,
Yeah,
but
but
they're
they're
not
not.
now.
Yeah.
I think they were in
Which-
for 20, weren't they?
17, 18. They almost got to the end. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay.
I've talked to Jay about this, and I talked
don't know
about
why
it in
they're
the
not
meeting,
doing
and I said,
Yeah.
is there any reason why we, as a group of people, can't go sit down with Del Mar and say we
Please
want
get
you
in.
back, at least partially? 30%, something.
25.
Because look
Fine.
at all the tax money.
Mm-hmm.
And for those
Delmar
those
benefits
listeners
them
out
big
here, you
time.
need to understand
Yeah.
that
Right.
the Del Mar taxes we pay are almost exactly as much
As the
as the
county.
county
They are.
taxes. And look what the county gives us in the whole courthouse
Right.
and all the everything. They take care of the prisoners,
jail, the
everything.
courts,
they've got
Right.
police officers. They've got
Tons of
everything.
stuff.
Yeah,
and
and
Del
our-
Mar, we don't have a whole lot of people from the island
Right.
that go to Del Mar because most of those that are that age out here go to the university here because it's right there.
I know, and
So
our,
Delmar benefits.
So this
Big
is a
time
honey
from the
hole for
island.
them.
Our-
This
our-
is-
Can we get out of the
And-
college
yeah.
district?
But you know what they do
I don't
in
know if you
Del Mar?
can-
They have a policy
Please
that,
tell us.
that they will tell you we only do 10 years and that's all our policy is. Well, guess what? You can change a policy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line. We're fixing to put in a policy.
You can
for
get back
TERS.
in.
It's
You
an
can
elected
absolutely
board.
get back in. You can change a policy overnight, meaning that's what boards do. And so we're putting in a countywide policy, hopefully at our next meeting, that the next commissioners court can change and do away with, just like the Del Mar Board of Regents can. They're elected officials. They stand for election every year. There's no reason for them not to be in the Island TERS other than their policy, that they can change their policy. But that's an easy answer, right? If
Right.
I say, hey, listen, I can't do it, guys, it's against my policy,
Right.
your response should be, well, why don't you just change your policy?
Right.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
an elected board.
And-
each
And we
one
make
of
you a
these
ton of money,
tours,
says the island.
each one of
Yes.
these
Mhm.
tours, the council, all the council members are the board.
Right, and they, well, and that's going to change too with the London TERS. There's 15 board members by law. The London TERS is going to have 7 from the 7 from the city, 5 from the county, 2 from Del Mar, and 1. What we're putting in is a London area taxpayer or somebody that owns property or lives out there or something. So, and that the TERS board will appoint that person. So we're increasing our representation, which we did on the island TERS. We made headway, but we didn't make enough headway when we renewed the island TERS. But we did make headway because there used to be just me on the island TERS, and now there's 4 of us on
Right.
the island TERS
Excellent.
from the county.
Yes.
That was one of the things that I asked for then. I didn't go far enough in doing some of the things that I should have done, but I mean it's okay. We're going as we can, and so that's going to be what we're going to do with all these TERS is going forward on renewals. We're going to limit the amount of renewals, that kind of thing, because at some point things got to kind of stand on their own. At some point, right? After this thing, we just signed up for another 20 years. That's
I was going to say,
40
I've got
years.
a couple questions.
That's a lot of time.
Thank you,
I've got
That's a 40 years.
I've got a couple questions
That's-
about,
and I'm
about
okay with
getting back and then the kind of reinstating of the TERS. We're out here at Doc Seafood and Steaks on another beautiful Island Moon Thursday. Jay Gardner, my name is Jacob Oggs, Dr. Brian Gully, Dale Rankin, Tyler Thorson, and Commissioner Chesney with us. And I want to say this part of the program is brought to you by a buddy of ours that wants to buy your old vehicle. If you're getting rid of that truck or you think you need to upgrade and get something done, go see Frank over at Discount Motor Co. They're 6601
So,
SBID.
Gully, you gonna sell that Tesla truck to
I love
Frank?
my truck.
Maybe time to
I
get
love
into
my
Frank
something
was
new.
just here.
Yeah, exactly.
don't know
Just
where
just
he
came
is.
by to
Frank a
say,
minute
hey, good
ago,
friend of the show. You can go to discountmotorco.com, browse inventory, or reach out to them, and he'll give you a great offer on that old car or truck that you need to get rid of. Or if you're thinking about getting something else, go talk to an expert. Don't talk to some little salesman with no experience. Frank's got all the experience to get you what you're looking for, and he's a great friend of the show, and thanks again. But one thing that I did want to bring up, Dale, you wrote about it a little while ago. How close were we to losing the Island TERS?
I don't think we were even close.
No.
No, I really don't. I don't
It
think
came up in 2022,
Yeah.
and Greg took that ball and ran
Yeah.
with it. And
we
then,
weren't. It wasn't close on our end.
Well, okay.
And then
There was a
Dan
lot of us
Suckley,
that
I
carried
think,
that
came
across
in
the
about
goal.
that time, and he
Dan, Heather Holbert, I got to give props to her. She really carried that thing across the goal line. We had been looking at the reauthorization for like 5 years.
Yeah.
We've been meeting on the ADP,
But it needed
which is now
attention.
the ADP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to bring something
might-
up
I
while
might-
we're here on this TERS, and I want Jay. I'm gonna need your help on this.
One of the other things
But,
before you do, Brian, let me tell you one of the things I wanted to finish before we cut off.
sure.
And apologize. Was one of the other things we're going to do on these TERS is one of the big points is we're going to go in on every TERS at a lower percentage than the city, because the city gets way more benefit than the county gets. So that's going to be another long-term deal. It's what we did with the island, because the city just gets more benefit than the county does in general.
Just move the decimal.
Right, and so we're just going to change the decimal where they're going to, whatever their percentage is, we're going to be
To make it
lower
more
than.
proportionate?
To make it, because
Okay.
they get more, they pay more anyway because their levy is twice as high as ours.
Yeah.
Right, they're at
If not-
60 cents,
not
we're
more,
at
yeah.
28,
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than
yeah.
right.
Right.
But but we get less value out of TERS than the city does. The city, and there's nothing negative when I'm saying that. It's just the city's going to
Yes.
get more value
Yeah,
because it's
commensurate.
annexed. Because if it's annexed inside the city limits, we have zero responsibility for streets, police, whatever,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But we want to be a good partner. We want to stay in these things, but we have to do it realistically because we have to pay bills and we have to go build county streets. And they don't help us pay for county roads. You know,
No.
now this
That's
is
a
the
good
first
point.
thing. I got the first county project in the history of TERS
Yes.
with Briscoe King.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
That's
first thing
true.
the county's ever gotten in every TERS
that's
we've
a pretty
gotten.
good splash.
And guess what Pusley's
Yeah.
going to now go ask for from the downtown TERS? Demolition of the county courthouse, old county courthouse.
Oh.
He came up with that idea. The county judge carried that ball in Austin, and she got it to where we can tear it down, but it's going to cost several $1 million to tear down that sucker. So Pusley's going to go to the downtown TERS and say, hey, we've been in this thing 17 years. We've gotten zero out of this. We want the money for the
Okay.
for
That's
that.
legit.
And,
Okay,
and
that's
gonna
legit,
be
yeah,
and that's going
right,
to be a condition of our renewal with that TERS. And that's Pusley's idea, and I give him 100% credit for that idea
Yeah.
because we've got to get something as a county taxpayer. We've got to. That's only
How
fair.
much is that
Something
downtown?
tangible, yeah.
How much does a downtown tours raise each year? Do you know?
It's not anywhere near what
We're
it
at we're about
raises
we're
here.
at around 5 million out
It's
here.
not what we. It's not.
It's
anywhere
actually
near.
maybe more than that this year because we're already at 4.5, and
Yeah,
the
it's
year's
not.
not
It's
over.
not what it is at the down at the island by any
Yeah.
means, but it's substantial, and we've been in it for 17 years, and we haven't gotten anything out of it for 17 years as a Nueces County. Meaning, because it was kind of funny because this one guy comes and he's really a sharp guy, and he comes to to talk to us about it, and he's like, "But think of all the tax dollars y'all are getting with everything that's going on," and I said, "We're
Yeah.
geting zero.
Yeah,
we're at
right.
100%. So for 17 years,
Ooh,
we've seen
you're at 100?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're at 100%. I said we're getting like we were out here.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting
Right.
zero. We've gotten zero for 17 years. So we need to get something back.
Sure.
That money for the courthouse is getting something back. And then when we renew, we're going to renew like we did on the island. We're going to go down on percentages.
Yeah.
We've told them that,
And that's fine.
And
Yeah.
but that's fair and it's
Yeah.
consistent.
Well,
and
in,
it's
in
what we
most
did
of
out
the
here.
in most of the tours around the county, you don't have something like ISAC. Everything that happens goes straight to the council.
Well, yes and no. And that's a bone that I've gotten with the downtown one, too. They have the downtown management district.
They have taxing authority, don't they?
Well, the TERS pays the downtown management district to operate. And a lot
But
of
they
money.
but
and
they
that's a
levy the
real
owners
problem.
down there because
Yeah,
as
but-
an owner down there, I paid into that.
Right, but not to the.
Not
the
very much.
amount
Goes to
that the
TERS.
TERS pays for downtown management is staggering to me. Staggering. It's hundreds of thousands that comes out of the TERS that the downtown management district goes out and does. Now they do things for downtown, but like, I'd be. That's crazy. That should
But doesn't the downtown management district have taxing authority?
They do. They have the ability to levy against the. But I think it has to be agreed to, Brian. Right? There's some.
They,
I don't
no,
think-
I don't think so. They just levied it. It wasn't a large amount of money,
Right.
Because I never even looked into it. But when I owned property down there, but if you look at, I always parked when I go to the meetings at one shoreline. I like to park by the bay, so I'm sitting there after a meeting, going through my notes and stuff. That car goes back and forth. It's like the Turtle Patrol used to be, where they come by every 15 minutes, and I'm going, the turtle hasn't gotten here yet.
Right.
But I'll call you when the turtle gets here.
Yeah,
They come
right.
through.
Yeah,
My kids,
exactly.
my kids are diving out of the way, and they're driving over their sandcastles and
The
stuff.
positive side of it, that TERS has worked, right? It has
Yeah.
worked
But
for
it cleans
downtown.
up. It cleans up the city.
Absolutely.
And Alyssa Burrow Mason has
She
done
did-
a
she did a
brilliant
great
job.
job.
has done a great job,
Yes.
and I'm not complaining, but I'm saying there are flaws in the system, and the system has to change, and Nueces County has to get something for its dollar, and thus far we've gotten zero because all those increased values mean nothing to the county because we're not seeing any of the dollars that's staying in
Yeah.
the TERS. And
So
Right.
that leads up to
It's
exactly
some
what I was
point.
about to say before you went on that, because I can't compete with you, Brent, because you talk so good
Yeah.
and so fast, and so fast that you cover a lot of stuff.
Well, I got to leave at 8:32, so I got to hurry. I got to hurry. I got so much to tell you.
So I'm going to be back on the island tours. Get back on that for a minute.
All right.
And what I'm going to need some help with some people, and I have is Delmar. I'm going to talk about Delmar because Delmar for all those years participated with us, and then all of a sudden they dropped out completely.
Yep.
And I don't really think that's right. And I think we need to go back to Del Mar and ask them to participate in a certain percentage. Hopefully the same as the county. They get the same amount of money
Right.
from us and all this development out here, but they actually get now a whole lot more money than the county because the county, half the county's money goes back in the tourists.
75%.
70%.
Oh, wow.
So,
We're at 75 right now.
oh, you're at 75? Okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking
We go
50.
down. It's a
It
slide. It's
ratchets
a
down.
scale.
But it
right?
keeps going down
I think
to 50,
so.
right?
Yeah. Eventually, yeah.
So
10 years in. I
So
think.
when you consider what they get out here,
Yeah.
the least they can do is kick some of that, half that back to that, and they still get all the other housing and stuff. But the commercial part that's in the TERS, because the listeners need to understand that not all the property out here is in the TERS. A
Right.
whole lot of this property
No residential.
is goes 100% to the city, the county, Del Mar, the school district.
But it's a
All
pretty
of it
big
goes to
boundary.
school
It is a
district.
pretty big
It's
boundary.
pretty big.
It's a pretty big boundary.
Yeah.
It's-
But there's no reason why they need to drop out because considering what
Right.
they have to deal with as far as people that use Del Mar.
Oh my gosh.
And we need to
Oh,
do a
yeah.
little study, and I think that numbers are available. What's the percentage of people that live on the island use Del Mar compared to other parts
It's
of their
hard to
district?
see that we're getting a return on the investment.
That's right. And so I'm saying
ROI,
kick
yeah.
something back, help it go up, and you'll continue to get more and more and more.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
mean,
let me
that's-
tell you, one of the
Red's on
things-
board
But we
with
need
that,
you
yeah.
back. We need you back as a contributor
Right.
on the island because
Agreed.
Yeah.
And here's the thing we're doing too is we're starting the new TERSs at like this London one. We're going in at 45. You know, we're only starting that London one at 45%. 100 on the island, 100 on downtown, 100 in North Beach. We're going to reduce those down eventually, but we're starting London at 45.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the new trend too. We
right.
can't give away everything. We can't.
Exactly. Even though they're building houses like right now as we speak, like multiple houses, it's still going to take a long time to build out.
Oh,
so.
yeah, and the
what all
property
is
we're
on-
talking about, it's like property that Brian talks about. There's areas in London that if we don't do this TERS, it'll be 30 years before it develops.
yeah,
because it doesn't have utilities either.
No, right.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
How
if
much
we
of that
don't
is
do
inside
this-
the city limits?
That's none. None.
Right.
None,
It's
none.
ETJ.
That's part of the deal on this TERS. Is the city came to us and said, our requirement is we want only land that's not in the city limit and hasn't used a trust fund, right? We said, okay, what we
Right.
want is
That was-
nothing
that's-
vertical.
that was-
If
yeah.
it's already been built, we're not going to put it in the map because why would we want to give you anything
Right.
away? So we each had our little requirement, and then
Yes.
we've spent a year and a half because I'm going to,
hammering those details.
yeah,
out.
and that's been hard to do with the city. That's been really
Well,
tough.
you've also
Oh my
got
gosh.
the issue of
No comment.
as the city limits move out, the
Well, they can't.
well
unless you
over
voluntarily.
over
Right.
time we've seen it out here.
Voluntarily.
You have fire departments, the emergency service districts that are in
ESDs,
place
yes.
that were designed to be there and provide service when the area is not annexed.
Right. Yep.
Then when the area gets
Petronio.
annexed, those don't disappear. They stay on the tax roll, just like we have out here. We end up with 2 fire departments.
Well, and there's a proposal for a new ESD out in that area because
Right.
there's so much area that can't be annexed. Mandatory annexation
Yeah.
because the
Right.
law changed.
Right.
So there's a proposed ESD going on
Interesting.
out there
Yeah.
because there's areas out there that don't get.
Our problem
don't
is
have
kind
coverage.
of the opposite. We got annexed,
Yeah.
and the emergency
Well,
service district didn't go away.
Well, and the
so
city
now we
can-
got 2 fire departments.
Well, and the city, you know what? And there's an argument there that there's 2 arguments there.
Actually, that
Yeah.
was like
One
3.
is you got a lot more coverage than everybody else does, and the other one is you're paying more taxes for it. So I don't know which is worse because there's people, believe me, I get people call me all the time saying, please don't, I can't do anything about the ESD. It's the city that would have to take it away. It's not us. Please don't take it away because we get more coverage than anybody anywhere. And I'm like, okay. And then I got people calling me going, but we're paying more taxes. So
Yeah.
I go, you know what?
What
It's
do you
not
want?
my fight. That's the city of
What do you
Corpus
want?
Christi. They have the law
Yeah.
in their favor. If they want to do away with the ESD, they can do that. If they don't, that's up to them. Even though we appoint the board members, the board can't vote it out. The city would have to do something about that. But I don't know, and I know Dale, you and I disagree
I
on
think
this.
it
I
should
don't know
go
if you
on a
want
ballot.
to.
I think it
right.
should go on a
I
ballot.
don't know if
Let
you
the
want to do
people
one.
who are writing the tax checks decide what they want to do.
And that's where the
Okay.
city has
That's
to
fair.
do it.
That's
right.
fair.
Because let me tell you, if I live out here and I got 2 fire stations, I'm not griping about that. I got to tell you, I'm really not.
Well, there's on the one hand, it's a
paying for it,
service
yeah.
issue. On the other hand, it's a tax issue.
taxes, yeah.
And if we're not getting the service that we need from Corpus Christi Fire Department, we need to take it up with them.
I don't think you're not getting it. I
then
think
why
you're
do we
getting
need
more.
2 fire departments?
Well, I'm going to say because what if there's 3 fires at the same time?
Well, so, okay. Well, by that rationale, we should have 4 airports.
Yeah.
So we don't have any delays.
What if we all have a heart attack?
Well, no, you have to
right
have
here?
airlines. You have to have airlines. But that's the point. That's the debate. But the city can stop that debate. The city has the ability
Put it on a ballot.
to do that. No, but I don't even think you have to put it on. Well, you may have to put it on a ballot because it was voted in, so you may have to
I
vote
think
it out.
it's just fair.
But
If
the
you're going to ask
city has
people to
to do
pay a
it.
tax, they should get a vote.
Right. And I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. And I mean, and that's what, out in Calallen, they vote for every bond that goes on at that ESD. That thing goes up every time. Down here,
Yes.
it goes down every time. So you got two parts of town that have two different, and that's okay too. So if the island doesn't want it, let them vote it out, right? And the bluff, because it's the island and the bluff,
Right.
It's both. And so that's a debate that the city can instigate if they want to.
They don't
just-
want to.
They just don't want to do it.
Well, I'm going to vote for
Okay,
it.
so before you head out,
Yeah,
I
I
know you got to
apologize.
go.
I gotta get out of here.
Just one more quick question about the courthouse. Are we going to do this like the Memorial Coliseum, where we like sell bricks out of the?
I don't know. I just want
courthouse?
to find
I
a
got.
way to turn.
I stole mine. I have to admit it. I didn't buy it. I just went by the pile and threw it in the
I didn't
trunk.
hear that. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
We should just sell. Have someone there with a potato gun or something, and you can buy tickets and fire something at the be part of the demolition, finance the demolition
Yeah.
through something
But
fun.
that's
Like,
a
yeah.
legitimate
Shots with
thing
the,
for the
Yeah, so put the
downtown
plunger
tour.
in.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All
it
I
is a
care
great
is
idea. No, it is a great
all I care is if it goes in my landfill.
Yeah.
And that's probably where
Reef
it's
it,
gonna go.
baby.
That's-
Because
yeah.
we're
then your
all
land-
about Brian Gully's landfill.
And then
That's,
landfill would
that's what
become
we're
a
here for.
historical marker. So
Yeah.
and you can't do
Not-
anything.
Well,
with
yeah,
it.
you're Brian's in everything. He's got fire people training stuff too.
Yeah.
We need to take that thing offshore. I could see a big grouper swimming right through the old courthouse.
By the way, we can set up that ESD out there very, very, very easy, and we're right there close by London. We're right across the
And there's going to be a vote on that coming up, and because there's a lot of areas that aren't covered. I mean, it gets covered because nobody's going to leave someone hanging, but then there's this charge, and then there's this, and it's who does it, and so they're going to put one on the ballot, and the people are going to decide if they want to do it or they don't want to do it, and that's fine. And I agree with Dale. Let people decide what they want to do, because I don't know what people will do, because I get a lot of people who think there's a lot of value to them, and then I get a lot of people that say we don't want to pay taxes. I get it. I'm not getting into that debate. That's up to the city to figure out, and whatever. But at the end of the day, the island and Port A and the Flower Bluff are getting so much services that the island used to gripe all the time, we're the stepchild. You're not the stepchild, man. Let me tell you, just from the county alone, the millions we're spending, then you add in the TERS, then you add in what the city does, this island is getting a ton of projects and things that are going on
It's
out
taken
here.
20 years to get there.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, but
I
unfortunately,
mean,
for
when
20
Henry
years
Garrett
we-
was mayor, I
we
never
spent-
forget, he came out to a
Yeah.
lunch, and someone got up and asked him, "What have you done for the island?" He was getting ready to run for mayor, I think. I think he was on the council. What's the city done for the island? And his answer was, "Well,
Increase the
we picked
water
up
pressure."
we picked up 80,000 pounds of garbage in the garbage gobbler."
Yeah.
And that was the answer.
That's what
And
they're
we're
doing.
15% of the tax base, and he's picking up our old lawn chairs.
But it's not the answer anymore, and it's not been the answer for the last 10 years, because there's been millions and millions of dollars, at least from Nueces County, being spent on the island, and the TERS has spent millions and millions of dollars.
Well, it's the
Unfortunately,
city
all of it went to
bonds.
Packery Channel, for
City
for
bonds
that.
is where we get the short end of the stick. I've been going
Yeah, I
back
don't know about- yeah.
to 2020, and we get left out.
Right. So
All right, I gotta haul, guys.
we
Thank
know
you
you
very
gotta
much.
go
Yep.
to land the plane. Thank you so much for
Oh, man,
carrying
you
the skate park across.
It was great, man. Your idea, and thank you for
Seagrass
coming up with
Gardner.
it. And
Yes, exactly.
yeah, and
So-
Cheryl was a bulldog and all that group, and like I say, that's the kind of stuff that is so cool that I can look back on, and hopefully there'll be a plaque on there that says we all had something to do with
Well,
that,
that's
because
the kind of stuff that ISAC is designed to help with,
Absolutely.
and that's what it works.
And we appreciate that. I mean, ISAC had a role. You guys had a role. It was your idea that I went, oh crap, that's a great idea, and
On
I went
this
and said,
radio
put it on the
show.
agenda.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I mean, that's what's called listening to to people and really listening to what they're saying. I don't know it all. I get a lot of great ideas from coming to stuff like this and listening. And that was here on this show from Jay Gardner. I took it back that day, sent an email, and said, put it on the
Boom.
agenda and let's
Boom.
go. And 2
Yeah.
months later, it was done.
Yeah.
And that's not just me. That's this whole community. That's ISAC. That's everybody. That's Cheryl coming down there. That's the city council, the TERS board.
Stoke
But it got
Brokers, Adam
done, and it's
Rios.
going to
Yeah,
get done.
absolutely.
And
One
we
last
could-
one on the
we-
ESD number 2.
Yes.
We always fight with Dale on this. If you are a kayaker or a boater or a fisherman, you appreciate ESD number 2 because they are the first out there. Always.
If the police
All
are
right,
late
can
getting
we-
to your
I'm
house,
go-
are you going
I'm-
to form a second police
I
department?
No.
am going to end on a good note. We are cranking on the island. Quit talking about the bad stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff. Anyway, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Commissioner Brent Chesney joining us this morning on Island Moon Live from Doc's Seafood and Steaks. We're going to take a quick radio commercial break, and we will be right on back. Stick around.
From the first glass of water in the morning to the clean dishes after dinner and every refreshing shower in
Hey, we're back in the top 20. Thank you.
Brent.
Thanks, man.
See you, man.
Texas Commission on
Yeah, if the Longhorns lose another one, we're going to be going to the Weed Whacker Bowl.
We're already in the Astro Blue Bunny, aren't we?
We've got a pretty good schedule ahead.
We got to
We'll
play
go to the Sun Bowl
Georgia and
And here
Well,
on YouTube, we're going to rock
So,
your brain.
so we've lost to the Longhorns have lost a couple of games to some really good teams. One of them the national champion, right? And so is Notre Dame.
yeah.
But Notre Dame stays way higher than us all the time, no matter what
because
happens.
it's all the
That's
And
a
if
good
you
one,
look at
Boo.
their
You're
schedule,
absolutely
we got to
correct,
play
yes.
three or
Boo
four
is
more
fired
ranked
up
teams,
this
highly
morning.
ranked teams.
Yeah.
Georgia and Vanderbilt and
Who would've thought
Texas
Vanderbilt?
A&M. But Notre Dame, look at Notre Dame's schedule. Unless USC is as good as they looked one time
Oh,
this
the
year,
footballs.
Yeah.
they don't have anybody left to
During
play.
the break, we talk about
You know, they
footballs.
play Wake Forest and Temple and Navy and
ACC.
Boston Cheerleading College and little things like
They
that,
do it
right?
all the time. It's because their whole it's not
Northeast,
their alumni,
West
their
Tech.
alumni are Catholics. So that's why they go. The big
Well,
coverages.
I don't know. It has to do
And
with
you
being
get the- you get
Catholic
the- you get
anymore.
the
It has to
East-
do with the leprechauns and the Irish. But
But you get-
I think it's the news media or whatever that always holds them up to some standard.
You get, but
Yeah.
it's East Coast, West Coast press too, because West
Right.
Coast always loves USC, always has.
Oh, yeah.
And you get more eyeballs out there. So nobody. That's why nobody like if
But you throw that Notre Dame in the SEC and watch what happens to them.
Yeah.
That meat grinder. It's tough to get out of that thing because every
Yeah.
time you turn around, you're playing another great team.
right. So that's why they don't like the Brewers and the Seahawks. You know, whatever. The Mariners
Brewers.
being in the World Series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's a small market. They're like,
Yeah.
screw that. They'd
Tech-
rather have
but
the Yankees.
college football now has become like Major League Baseball, that total free agency and no salary cap. So
Yeah.
players move, and you can pay whatever you can get away with paying.
Because it's like there's no salary cap.
It's like Oklahoma in the old days, where
Yeah.
there's no rules.
Roll that wagon down over the red and fill it up with
SMU,
football
like,
players.
wow, ooh.
Well, I tell you, or SMU, that's a better example. How do you end up the top 2 running backs in the entire nation at the
Yeah.
same time in a little school like
Yeah,
that?
5,000 students.
Something was a little sneaky there.
Poor Baylor and Rice, man, they didn't stand a chance forever. TCU,
No.
same thing.
Well, that was the funny part. That was Dickinson, the running back. The Aggies gave him a Trans Am.
Greg James.
And
Greg
he, and he
James
drove
Dixon
it
at the same
to
time.
SMU and signed. Parked it in the parking lot at the SMU athletic dorm.
Yeah, those were.
Well, my Texas State Bobcats, they're headed to the Pac-10.
Heck,
We're starting to make a little
really?
noise. Yeah.
University of Houston's
Next
having
year.
a way better season than they originally were supposed
Houston
to have.
is gonna. They're gonna be a dominant team in the Big 12 because you can recruit by bus.
Yeah.
If you can recruit the Houston area, you can compete.
Well, that's
in
one of the
Big 12.
reasons why they A&M and UT wanted to keep Houston out of joining the SEC is because then all of a sudden, like, that's their big pull.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we were talking about TCU where Brent went. I always had respect for them because they got squeezed
Coming
out
back.
when the Big 12 came along. Baylor got in, and
Thursdays.
Yes, it is.
I
Thank
think
you,
Notre Dame has to
Ediconius.
play one SEC team, and it happens to be the absolute worst one this year, which is South Carolina.
We've been
we're still talking about football.
Yeah, we've been talking on football about catching up
Well,
on
it's
the
football season.
commercial break.
we got Ted Mandel around here somewhere. He's a football fanatic.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah.
he was a donut
Boy, he's a
fanatic.
Florida
I didn't
State
know he
guy.
was into
Fanatic.
football, too. He's just a fan.
Debbie
He's a
Noble
top
joining us.
fan. Hey, radio people.
How's everything going? You've been busy.
I've been
Lot of-
really busy. I sent you guys a ton of photos. I don't
Yeah.
know if you used any of them, but there's just been so many events.
We
going
used
on.
one on the front page of a kid going down a slide.
That little girl
Oh,
going down
I
the
love
slide
that
is so
one.
cute.
I love that one. Yeah, that was good. No, there's so many things to do this week. This Saturday alone, there's like 15 different things you could do.
How did the turtle trot seemed to go well? I was over
yeah,
there
the
for a
Turtle
couple hours.
Festival. I didn't go to the trot because that's early in the morning. I
Yeah.
went a little
I
later
went
for
in
the
midday.
festival part. I went midday, but no, there were a lot of people there. They all seemed like they were having fun, learning all kinds of environmental things, buying things, eating things.
The hot dog line was a little long.
Yeah, I hate
But it
when
was
that
good.
happens. No, this week it's Jazz Fest. Well, first of all, tonight's the Coastal Bend Basin and Asturias Environmental Awards night, whatever. That's
Yes.
at the aquarium tonight, so I'll be there. I'll be at the State of the Port today for lunch.
Lunch.
So
we will see
those
you
are my two
there.
things
Taste
for
of
today.
the
Sit with
Islands
your
next
husband, or
Thursday,
is
Oh,
right?
it's also
I'm
it's
not
also
wearing a tie, but
my
I'll be
husband
there.
it'll be my first time going over the bridge, the Harbor Bridge, the new bridge. I haven't because I was gone this summer. I hadn't had a chance to.
Oh,
go
that's
there yet.
right.
So I don't have to drive.
I haven't been
Bible
back
drive.
since the grand opening, I don't think.
No. Tonight, it's the Padre Island Farmers Market tonight. So if you go in costume, there's it's going to be a little trick or treating.
And isn't Taste of the Island is a week from today,
Yes,
right?
the 22nd. And I think there's still tickets available. You can get them online, and that will sell out. It does every time, and it's always a lot of
It's
fun.
it's
at Mansion Royale.
where it was last year, I think.
Yeah, which is great because it encourages people who don't live on the island to go to it
Well,
and
and
try
I
out
was-
island restaurants and then go, wow, that was great. I need to go out to the island.
Well,
and
they're
try that."
talking about the looking a little bit ahead. The Barefoot Mardi Gras. They're bringing back the Kings and Queens Ball this year, and they're talking about moving it over somewhere downtown. I think
Well,
they're
and,
talking about 2 or 3 locations downtown, trying to kind of blow it up a little bit.
Didn't
make it a
I
little
see
bigger.
something about Barefoot Mardi Gras being on some list
Yes,
you can
we
vote
did.
for?
We
What
did.
is that?
We're on the. We already won the one of which one did we win? We won the locals list, and now we're on the Bend list, or maybe it's vice versa.
I thought it
should
was
know.
something bigger. I thought it was
Does that
like
come with
something
a
in
cash
Texas
prize?
Monthly, like at that level, like statewide.
That I
one
don't
of the,
know
like
about.
one of the
It's hard
biggest.
to beat a Mardi Gras parade on the beach.
I know.
think-
That's
do you
awesome.
think-
Yeah.
Anyway,
and-
if you go to our Facebook page, you can see what we're nominated for, and you can click on it, and you can vote. No, it's where. Yes, this is Visit CC. Right now, we're nominated for Visit CC, one of the
Okay.
top events in the city for fundraising. So you have to go to our Facebook page or our website, and you can vote. So we
Yeah.
encourage everybody to go vote for Barefoot Mardi Gras so we can win, because we love winning things, because we're great. We're a great festival.
Well,
Maybe we could buy some shoes.
And so
Yeah.
hopefully Barefoot Mardi Gras will be able to go in front of the seawall again
yeah,
this next
that's
year.
a whole. That's a whole. Now, it's on February 28th this year. It's not.
think
It's
they've
not
got that
on the
worked out.
normal. It's not on the normal Mardi Gras day because we looked at maps and charts and graphs and almanacs and decided that it would be
Because
it
of
would
tides.
be better tide-wise to have it on the 28th.
We checked that. That's one of the things we did when we started the Mardi Gras parade back in 07 or 08, whenever it was. After we decided to have a parade, then we checked the tide charts and we got lucky.
No, we got lucky.
The second year we did that first. We learned from our mistake.
Wow, that-
No, we've had it on
wore
the,
my
on the
stripper
actual
boots.
Mardi Gras weekend every single time.
Right.
And we have been lucky every single time because I walk on the beach a lot. You'd be walking
Yeah.
the beach 2 days before and go,
Yeah.
how do we do this?
Just wear rubber
there is
stripper
no
boots.
beach here. And then every single barefoot, the day of, we'd be like,
I
okay,
know.
we're
And
doing
So
it.
when's it going to be this
You
year?
gotta
It's
hand
not.
it to-
It's a Saturday, right?
It's always a Saturday. It's
Right.
Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, and
Hey,
it's February
and
28th.
I got to give a shout out to the Parks and Recs department. They
Oh, yeah.
actually pull it together. The sheriffs, the police.
Oh
So,
yeah, we
there's
work
a lot
together.
of-
We have to work together for the
There's a
city
lot- They've got
and the
their
county
permits.
and
I-
the committee.
I
It's,
think-
a
Hey.
lot of collaboration and cooperation.
Hang on,
Absolutely.
you doing that just TT Dinar Kubion for
No.
the Friends of Padre.
Yep.
Oh, that's coming up.
Well, so-
November.
No, the Friends of Padre
Yeah.
Big Show cleanup
Oh.
is Saturday, February 28th, which is
Same
why.
day.
So it's the last. It's the
Same
last
day.
weekend in February
Oh,
every
is it the
year.
same day?
But,
Yeah.
But
It coincides sometimes. Every,
Better
every couple
why?
of
It's
years.
on
But it
Better
wouldn't have
why?
coincided till 2000.
Well, you can pick up the beads on the beach after the parade.
it's a 2-year pattern, right? So 2 years it'll be on the same weekend, and then
Well,
6 years. I
except
believe it's
that-
5 or 6 years. Then they're alternate
Oh,
weekends.
yeah, you
Yeah.
looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
we got
Except
a-
that we aren't. The Barefoot Mardi Gras isn't
Dirty
sticking to
dogs.
that schedule. They just picked
Dirty
a date this year.
dogs.
Yeah.
So it's not the weekend before Fat Tuesday?
No.
No, this year it is not. Then it would be on February 14th.
See,
They
that would
decided
be awesome.
after looking at all the things, they said we'd better
Well,
have
the
be better off on
question
28th.
now is it going to be cleanup weather or Mardi Gras weather?
It's going to be both weather for some people.
But we've done well in the past with that, but it's just a shame
Yeah.
that it has to be two big, huge festivals the same day.
I know.
'cause,
No, I
we've
hate-
got
I hate that.
We've got 1,500 people, maybe 2,000 coming down for the cleanup. So
Right.
It's like,
I
And
hate that.
generally they'll be out of the way. We could almost be done by the time it rolls
Send them
around.
all over the parade.
That's like this weekend. Speaking of having things,
Yeah,
all
there's
spread
like-
them
there's
out.
too many things going
Oh,
on.
This weekend, well, it's Jazz Fest. You got Friday night, all day Saturday, and Sunday.
Jazz Fest
It's-
going on at the same time as Turnpike Troubadours and Randy Rogers at Concrete Street. Wow.
Yes, yes. And it's Surftoberfest on Saturday at town, which is a big downtown street festival
And
put
I
on
think,
by a surf club, which is a lot of fun.
Beach Ball Brewing over here on the bluff.
Beach Ball Brewing, yep.
Their
this is-
Oktoberfest is
easy
this
for you to
weekend, I
say.
believe. And talk to our good friend Hunter Binky with Saltwater Fisheries Enhancement Association. Wanted to remind people that the banquet is next Thursday, the 23rd at Concrete Street. So if you don't have your tickets for that, go ahead and grab them. It's a great event for a great cause, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's the same night as Taste the Island.
That's the 22nd. That's the 22nd.
Darn it.
Everybody's
Yeah.
triple
There's
booked.
there's nothing to do.
Can
also,
someone do
also
something?
on the 18th, that Saturday,
Right.
we have a Corpus Christi literary reading series, and they only have events twice a year, once in the spring and once in the
We're in
fall.
favor of that,
they
right?
Bring in, they
Literary.
bring in
Literary.
relatively famous authors from all over the country that come speak. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
My kids used to get extra credit in high school for going, and so we started going, and we've been going ever since, even though they're like 30 now. So that's at 7:30 on Saturday night.
Creative math,
They're
yeah.
bringing in Nathan Hill, who wrote The Knicks, which is a big book that if you guys were readers, you know that's a great book. Anyway, he's coming, and that's on the 18th. That's Saturday also at 7:30 at the Art Museum. And so that's a thing I'm going to try to fit into. I'm going to just park my car somewhere downtown and then be trying to go between all the things I can walk
Yeah,
to.
Yeah, no, get one of those
It's-
e-bikes.
Little
They have
Segway.
I know, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah.
get one of the scooters.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
with all my
Uber.
camera equipment on a scooter. That'd be great. It's for those of you who are downtown people. It's the Zombie Prom at House of Rock, also on Saturday night. People like
So
the Zombie
also-
Prom. I've never actually hit that one up because
The,
there's so many other things going on. But it
The
looks like a lot of fun.
concert series that the Port Aransas Chamber sponsors is kicking into high gear this Friday, the
Yes.
next
Oh,
3
yeah.
Fridays.
Absolutely, yes.
And on Halloween night, they have Shiny Ribs. I've got it.
Oh, yeah, that's
table
right.
That's
It's
going
really
to
shiny
be.
ribs.
that
But
is
they've
gonna
got
be a heck of a
shows
show.
this weekend and next weekend
Yeah.
both that I'm going to try to make it up to.
This weekend is also the 250th Navy Ball. It's the Navy Ball.
Oh, nice.
Saturday night is
250.
Navy Ball at
So
American Bank.
if you're sitting at
Hilliard
home
Center,
this
Hilliard,
weekend-
Hilliard Center.
Yes.
Get out.
Just realized that the Navy's been having balls for 250 years.
250
The Navy's
years.
had balls for
I know.
250
It's your
years.
anniversary, isn't
Where,
it?
is that on the
Yeah.
Lexington or
Navy's
something?
anniversary.
No, it's
Yeah.
It's at the Hilliard Center.
Oh, the Hilliard Center.
See, I
So
said it right. I said Hilliard
Wow,
Center.
yeah, it's going to take us a few years to drop the ABC. So, yeah.
I've been doing pretty well at saying Hilliard Center. I don't know why.
yeah, I think it's enough of a
I think
change.
I see
that-
it written
yeah.
enough
Are you
that,
getting?
that it's.
Or
Yeah.
you're getting paid? Well,
By who? I wish.
Disclaimer here.
Yeah.
Debbie
I get
looks
paid
over
by
her
not
shoulder.
enough people.
Hilliard Center.
So it's
A
a
fishing boat going by.
8:45. Another beautiful Island Moon Thursday here at Doc's Seafood and Steaks. One thing that I did want to talk about while we're kind of coming to a close, we'll let Debbie run through the last of her list.
We got
Yeah.
Ronnie came in. We can
Yeah,
talk
Ronnie.
music. I'll let him have my seat.
Hey, look.
Well,
Ronnie's
we've got
here.
one thing I did want to get to while we still have time, and stick around. The Eric Von Wade Show is going to be coming to you right after we're done here.
And we
but,
can spill over a little bit.
yeah.
If we need to.
Yeah,
Is he
exactly.
okay now? Is he okay? Didn't he have a hard time? Was it last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A breathing spell, but yeah, he'll
He-
tell
we
you
think he
all
would-
about
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that's
Or at
good.
least he
That's
wasn't
good.
shot.
So
I want
uh,
I want him to be okay. I want to make
I
sure he's okay.
had the,
No,
dr-
he-
had the
he's
drone
back
in the
on.
air
Yeah.
Okay, good.
yesterday, a few places over the island.
Yeah.
One was over the paper streets and seeing the kind of condition of that.
People
but
are
the,
already
yeah.
driving on it.
the other place I flew was the Seagate.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
well,
So
the-
what is
well-
happening with that? Are we building one or are we not building one?
So
I don't know.
the old Seagate, as it stands, the POA, as far as I know, and I'm sure Rick McGinley and George
Sorry.
Reed can fix this or set me straight. As we know, they're trying to find money to do a study to find
Okay.
out the best location for a potential Seagate. And
Okay.
Seagate's not exactly
Sounds
the
like
right
a
word.
long-term project.
It's a project. We'll say that.
Yeah.
But the flying that location in Packery Basin, one of the things that I noticed, and I don't know if I've got that, if I put that, I think I have that one of the other photos in
There's a
in the
sandbar
moon
out there.
But there is a very distinct sandbar that you would probably not catch flounder on
I
at
wouldn't
all.
think so.
And it's not visible on this shot that's on the front page of the Island Moon. But it's the TERS
right
goes
there
to
by
Which is right
dredge
there.
the Packery Channel,
That's
right?
last
Yeah.
month, right?
But
Oh, it's
it's,
last week.
just part of that channel. It's not the entire basin.
There's
so if
Eric
you're in a
Conway.
boat and you're driving, you're kind of running around through there, be aware that there's even at high tide, it's still less than a foot or about 2 foot
right,
deep.
It's just on the bridge side of the opening into Lake Padre
Yeah.
is the location.
Yeah. So, because we get a lot of people asking about, what's the deal with the Seagate? Is there funding for it? What are people going to
There
do?
there is not at this time.
Yeah, and the other thing now that Commodore's Bridge is done is that people are looking at the opening of the channels and getting. Step one is getting Encantada, as Jay pushes the mic away. Step one is getting Encantada done. And I don't want us to be in a spot to where the POA says, well, we're waiting on the city, and the city says, well,
That's
we're waiting
where
on the
we are.
POA.
Oh, yeah.
The city already voted. Service number 2 already allocated $650,000 to replace the culverts. This is really simple.
Yeah.
The POA is the only people that hold the permit to dredge. You can't build culverts under the sand.
Under the sand.
You got to dredge first.
Yeah.
And then you can replace the culverts.
We got a
That's
chicken and egg
simple.
problem.
So on this
chicken-
radio,
Okay.
on this radio,
Who's
he
got
said
the
the head of the POA said on this show that the city will never wait on them to do that dredging. When they're ready to go, they will have that dredging ready by the time they get
The
there.
money's
now, he said
allocated.
that twice.
Yes.
Well, I
Okay.
sent,
Yeah.
I
So he
sent
said it's-
Rick
okay.
an email this week and asked if the POA has a plan in place to dredge the channel, and I got a one-word response, which was no.
No.
So that's where we are. And now, and I did a story this time because people keep asking, when is the plug going to get pulled? And it looks like sometime around the end of the year, maybe a little after.
Wow.
Okay.
It's not going to be contingent. It doesn't look like on the Commodore's Canal. It's
Okay.
basically has to do with the core permit on the Lake Padre side. And I would be interested to know what the attitude of islanders is about water flowing through the canals, because all I hear is people who want water through the canals.
Exactly. And if you and,
And
I
boats,
urge
and
everybody
boats.
to go look at that Encantada bridge and look at that water. And all you got to do is look at that for
It's
a minute.
ugly.
It's disgusting.
Oh, I
Yeah.
used to live right there. I lived for 14 years. I lived right
It
there
looks
on,
very
on
north
that.
side.
unhealthy.
the
I
south
think it's a
side.
safety issue at this point.
Well, yeah, if
I
you
can't
have any
remember my
sinus
directions.
issues, all you have to do is fall in the water over there. And then,
They had the little bubbler things in there to help
Okay,
to help
you were
turn
on
it
the south
around. Yeah.
side.
When we first moved in, our
Right.
neighbors came over to use the pool, and some of the boys like jumped in the canal and they jumped in the pool, and then they're like, "Mrs. Noble, your pool is really gross," and I'm like, "No, honey, you are. You
Yeah.
just did that."
bringing in the algae.
Brought in
So,
algae.
so the long and the short of it is, it looks like we'll probably have water through the canals.
I will
That'd
will
be awesome.
say
And boats.
I
And
can
boats
weigh
and
in on this. When they first popped the plug, water was going under Park 22 Bridge, Don Patricio Bridge.
Yeah.
It was 2 days, and there was a manatee in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
That's
were
so
sea
fun.
turtles. There was all
Yeah.
kinds of green water. The trout, the snook were there. It was
and they just line it up on the
beautiful.
other side, waiting to come through.
Absolutely beautiful.
I got a call this week from somebody that took their dog over, and I won't say which one. They took him to a boat ramp here on the island.
Yep.
They had a float they were throwing. The dog was retrieving because the dog could get in and
Okay.
out on the boat ramp. And a pot of dolphins swam up and started
They're
swimming
playing
away
with
with
the
the
dog.
float, playing with the
Oh
dog.
my God, I
I
love
said, "Did you
that."
shoot any video?" No, we forgot to do that.
No.
Yeah, but you know,
Oh,
sometimes
man.
that's good to be in the moment and
A
just
National
enjoy the moment.
Geographic moment.
Oh yeah,
Marlon
but
Perkins,
the Dolphins are
Mutual
known
of
to do
Wild
that. I had
That's awesome.
our weatherman when I worked at Channel 3 lived over on Bonassi, and he would take his girlfriend swimming in the canal, and the Dolphins would come up and play, and she'd shark, and they'd all jump. It was like,
Don't-
"Wait,
don't
you
ever- it's
remember,
like
you remember
yelling
2 or 3 years ago,
fire in a
Dale,
movie
down
theater.
here this side of Nighthawk, we had that dolphin that stayed in
Yeah.
that little canal.
Yeah.
And we used to take the dog, the golden retriever over there, and they would play together.
Yeah.
And that dolphin would come up to you, and when it came up to me, it would roll upside down, and just lay next to me. Now, what it would do every once in a while, and it seemed like it's always women, it would run into their thigh or something and kind of bump them a little bit hard sometimes. But it seemed like it liked dogs and men, and wasn't
Right.
too crazy about women.
Right.
But it was very.
well, I think it
friendly
has a
and-
different
and-
idea for women.
Yeah.
That's what the weatherman
We
told
were
me.
very
but
careful not to feed
Nobody
it. Very
listened to him.
careful not to
I'm
post
rolling my
anything
eyes
about
for
it.
those of you who can't see.
But eventually,
Yeah, you
eventually
just
they
look
went.
over the
They
camera,
went and
Debbie.
got it. Remember, they went and got it and hauled it off.
Well,
and
that's
it's a
why
shame,
I
'cause
don't
it was
ever
a- it was a
say
free
where
dolphin, you know?
where people have seen a dolphin, because somebody's
Yeah,
going to go
somebody
out
will
there
go
and
do
try to
something
put a
stupid,
saddle
yeah.
on it and ride it or
Yeah,
something.
well, I mean, the
Somebody will do
Dolphins were
something
moving
stupid.
through once the canals were open too. We're
Yeah.
going to see a lot of great things. There was
It was that damn Flipper series back in the 60s.
Right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Debbie, what any other?
Oh my God, there's even more on Saturday. KED
But wait,
TV.
there's more.
They have their
you act
kids
now.
festival at like 9 o'clock where they are.
I've been watching the
Surftoberfest,
challenge.
Oktoberfest.
Yes.
I don't know. You might have been at October. That's at Nueces Brewing. That's at like 4 to 9 at Nueces Brewing. Beachtoberfest, we said. There's a Native American Heritage Series going on at Labertama Library, and there's one of those on the Saturday at 2. There's that No Kings National Peaceful March that's going on, for those of you who are interested in that. That's at Water's Edge Park from 4 to 6. The literary reading series, Zombie Prom, Navy Ball. Here on the island, we've got, don't forget to go today to the Farmers Market, Padre Island Farmers Market tonight. Sharkathon coming up, right? 24th.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And you'll
And
see,
your friends of Padre has their fall fiesta. at
Yes,
Briscoe
that's
Community.
on,
That's on November 1st.
First.
Yeah.
That's going to be at Briscoe King.
That's
However,
also,
you know what else is November 1st? Dia de los Muertos.
You know, also is November 1st. First day you can't catch flounder, gig, or anything.
Yes.
And then on the
Okay,
4th, we
I'm
plunge into
definitely more
darkness
interested
with
in Dia de
daylight
los
wasting
Muertos.
time.
Actually, release only.
Biggest street festival downtown of the entire year, Dia de los Muertos. If you haven't been to that, you got to go
But
check
first
that
go
out
to
at
the
least once.
Friends of
But
Padre
first
Fall
I'll go to
Fiesta.
Friends
Seems
of
like
Padre
they
out
would
here for a
hold
little
that
bit.
the same night as the
Because Dia
zombie
doesn't
ball.
start till 3.
Yeah.
It's 3 to midnight. They have bands from everywhere. All the tons of streets are shut down. People, the people watching alone is just amazing for that.
Well, we've had
a lot
a
of people do a lot of work on that.
we've had a bunch of good interaction on YouTube. You can comment on just go to YouTube and Island Moon Live, and you can comment. Say a lot of people having fun with the show. Someone even said they have a dolphin saddle.
Yeah.
So it's good to know. Yeah.
There we go. Maybe we can get a monkey to ride it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great idea.
We haven't had monkeys riding anything since the dog track closed down.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's funny. Excellent. Yep, tons of stuff going on. We're
Way too
gonna
many things.
we're gonna close this down here before too long and take a quick break, commercial break on the radio, and we'll be back with the Eric Von Wade Show. If you look really closely out in the distance, you can see the rise of the mushroom cloud of truth.
Actually, he's sitting right behind you.
Yeah, I know he's here. And Charlene,
sort of
I can see it from
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So anyway, while we're still on the we still on the hot? Or,
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Bond 2018 Muddle
yeah.
and Puddle, right?
Oh yes.
There's been a little bit more movement on that, and
Good.
what Brian and I and the rest of the ADP subcommittee talked about the other day.
You're
was,
doing God's work there, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. So
That's it. That thing has been the Twin Lakes of Muddle and Puddle are a monument to just
the ineffectiveness,
Yeah.
the
It's
multi-jurisdictional
alphabet
red
soup
tape.
that we live in.
So,
right?
so here's an idea. Why don't we take the dredge material, the sand that we dredge out of Encantada?
Encantada.
Because we're going to need to fill in a lot of area under that bridge
Absolutely.
for drainage purposes.
Right.
Look at that.
You
Problem
and I talked
solved.
about that.
Solved.
Yes, exactly. We're just moving material around where it needs
Keep
to
it
go.
on the island, yeah.
It's one of those things where I drove in here this morning. There's probably 25 or 30 trucks parked over there.
Yeah.
And we got a dirt parking lot and water under the bridge.
I
And
know.
it's one of the most used places. This is probably one of the busiest boat ramps in this area.
These
Yeah.
are
I
these
came
are the
down
public
other day
boat
and it was
ramps.
just mob full of
This is
For
the back door, the front door to Baffin Bay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
Yeah.
But take that material out of Encantada, put it down, then we could throw a layer of millings over it.
We
It's
could
actually
take
really
the paperwork from all of the studies that we've done and fill in the hole.
right.
We're
And then
solving problems here
we
on Island
definitely-
Moon
Yes, we are.
Thursday.
One after another.
We
Bring 'em
definitely
on, bring
need
'em on.
to fill that up because if the water's up down there, and you're not familiar with because the lanes aren't striped very well.
Right.
If you're down there in the dark and the water's up, you get 2 feet off and you get into a hole.
And I never know if it's
Yeah.
salt water or fresh water. Because
It's
if
salt.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it hasn't rained, it's salt water, right?
right, yeah.
If the tide's up, it's salt, right? And
Yeah.
I know a
It's just gonna be
company that
salt,
could
yeah.
lift that for you with
yeah.
polyurethane, 885-7901 if you need your concrete taken care of.
Polyurethane Pam.
You can have my,
Excellent. Well, I will say thank you so much to all of our guests, Dr. Brian Gully, host Dale Rankin, my name's Jacob Boggs, Tyler Thorson, Debbie Noble, Ted Mendel, Jay Gardner, and
Brent Chesney.
Commissioner Brent Chesney.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a great show. Stick around with us on the radio. We're going to transfer over to Eric Von Wade Show here shortly.
The Port of Corpus Christi, we maintain a clear pathway for waterway commerce so that our customers can deliver goods.
I thought about you could have the sign have the bulldog that skates on the skateboard. You've seen all those little
Oh, yeah.
videos?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, but that would be not you and effigy, but
Well, I've been called worse, I'm sure, than a bulldog. But yeah, we're just excited. We're excited. It was it's about a year and a half effort, I guess. A little bit more
That's
than
pretty good
that.
though. I've seen a lot of people take a lot longer at dog park to get
Yeah,
things,
the
to get
Well,
things
muddle
done.
and puddle.
Not
Yeah,
without. I think polite persistence is the theme, and I think that goes
Yeah.
a long way. When community members try to get things done. I think you just gotta try to do it
Yeah.
the right way. You've
Right,
gotta
but
be
not- but
polite
not-
about
Oh, yeah.
it.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
like at city council with violent opinion.
Exactly.
Nobody likes violent
Exactly.
opinion.
Good
Yeah.
Yelling at city
When
council
people
doesn't
yell
help.
at me, I stop listening to them.
Isn't it? It's so sad. Sad but true. No, it really
It
is.
is. It is. I mean, I understand
And sometimes
that-
we don't listen when people don't speak loud enough either. So there's
Yeah.
that medium
It's
between
a
how
balance.
you listen to people.
It's a balance, but I think it's a good lesson to learn. And hey, I get the passion over a lot of the topics.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I think that
I think you have to understand, like, if I believe the things that some people believe, then I would probably be shouting as much as they are too.
Exactly. I do have empathy for that. I think that it's for the kids. It's for the youth.
Yeah.
If
Oh, yeah,
anybody
yeah.
follows all these social media sites out here for the island,
Oh, yeah.
there's frustration about the youth being business parking lots, boat ramps, off bridges, things
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah. So give them a place to
give
go,
them a
and then
place
they
to go
won't-
and congregate. And
Yeah.
skateboarding is just a very, very popular sport right now.
Yep.
And it
Yeah.
will continue to be. And
Wait, I thought pickleball was the hottest growing sport in America now.
Yeah, it
Skating is the new one.
Pickle skating. We're
Yes.
gonna get into some pickle skating.
Yeah.
Goodbye.